firecrackers and imposing fine on the people who will burn firecracker. We saw in national capital Delhi, NCR, Noida, how at many places firecrackers were burned, and since morning we are seeing the situation in Delhi, NCR, that the air quality has reached to a very hazardous and a very poor category. Samisha, I will show you the look from my app, which is the Suffer government app. As you can see, the Delhi overall air quality is 323, which is in a very poor condition. PM 2.5, the pollutant which is responsible for smog, it can clearly be seen. And if we talk about Lodhi Road, the air quality index is 273, which is again a poor condition. Like that only, Delhi University is 363. And I would like to show you the visuals from India Gate. As I'm reporting from India Gate is also not clearly visible.
Yes.
The layer of smog could clearly be seen on India Gate, and the people who are coming here since morning, usually we see here on India Gate the people come here for jogging, for physical workout, for cycling, and everyone we have interacted with, they all have said that since Diwali, after Choti Diwali, now we are coming here, there's a choke in throat which we feel. There's a breathing issue, and it could clearly be feel that the air we are breathing, the pollutants could be felt. This is the condition of national capital. And yesterday we saw how Arvind Kejriwal, Manish Sisodia were lauding their government that after 7 years that the air quality in Delhi has gone to a very cleanest level. It is very low. But since morning today, the condition seems to be a completely 360-degree change, and a political war of words is also happening. Stubble burning is first major issue. After August, Aam Aadmi Party government in Punjab have not tried to stop the stubble burning in the Punjab, because of which the entire smoke which comes after stubble burning comes to Delhi NCR, which leads to a very bad air quality in Delhi NCR. The second thing is the immersion of smoke from vehicles, which is responsible that there are many people who are still using the vehicles which are 10, 15, 20 years old. They are not following the Vehicle Protocol Act, because of which it is happening. There are many places where the construction is still going on, and at many places even the wastes are also being burnt. There are so many reasons. The PAU University carried out the entire study in which they stated that how come there are many reasons because of which the Delhi NCR still is in a very bad air condition level. And also we will show you visuals, because right now also there are many people who come to India Gate, they come here, but the smog, the thing could clearly be felt here since morning. So this comes when we are talking about every air quality every November. Sir, can I have a minute of yours? सर, हम हर साल पोल्यूशन की बात करते हैं, दिल्ली में ये हर साल का डिस्कशन है. आपको लगता है कि आज भी दिल्ली वासी साफ हवा नहीं ले पाते? नवंबर के समय, दिवाली के तुरंत बाद, ये एक डिस्कशन हर साल है.
पहले से कुछ हद तक सुधर रहा है धीरे धीरे. पहले बहुत गंदा रहता था, बहुत पॉल्यूटेड था दिल्ली, बट अब नॉर्मली धीरे धीरे सुधर रहा है.
आज भी सर हम लोग देख रहे हैं सुबह से कई जगहों पे जो PM 2.5 है, 346 है, 325 है, बहुत पुअर कैटेगरी में. आपको लगता है कि बोला गया था कि पटाखे नहीं जलाएंगे, फिर भी कल पटाखे कई जगहों पे दगे. लोग भी सतर्क नहीं है, सजग नहीं है.
वैसे देखा जाए तो पहले की तुलना में बहुत कम ही पटाखे जलाए गए. देखा गया बहुत सारे जगह क्या बोलते हैं कि पुलिस पेट्रोलिंग कर रही थी, इसकी वजह से क्या बोलते हैं जितना पटाखे जलाने की जो वाले थे उतना नहीं जलाएं, बहुत कम ही जलाएं. इससे क्या बोलते पोल्यूशन उतना ज़्यादा नहीं हुआ.
लेकिन आप दोनों के मुताबिक ऐसा कब होगा कि फाइनली दिल्ली किसी एक दिवाली पे साफ हवा ले पाएगी? कब पोल्यूशन पे डिस्कशन नहीं होगा? कब वो मेजर लिए जाएंगे सरकारों द्वारा?
इसमें सरकार के साथ साथ जो पब्लिक है उन्हें भी सोचना पड़ेगा, उन्हें भी सपोर्ट करना पड़ेगा, साथ देना पड़ेगा, तभी कुछ हो पाएगा ना. अब गवर्नमेंट ये कर रही है कि पटाखा नहीं जलाना है. अब वो हर घर में हर बंदे को तैनात नहीं कर सकता ना, वो खुद से वो जागरूक होना है ना.
So these are the public of national capital which are clearly stating that since many years this time, though it was that still the air quality of Delhi NCR was much better, but it is not only the responsibility of government but of the normal public also, general public also, who have to be very aware that if the ban is being imposed on something, they have to follow it very strictly. This is the reason there's a place from where I am reporting, Delhi NCR, India Gate, where the smog could clearly be felt in the air. The national capital, the parliament area, the Rashtrapati Bhavan, the layer of smog could be seen from 6 AM in the morning till the time when the sun grows up. So this is the situation from Lodhi Road to Anand Vihar to India Gate. Samiksha, everywhere the air quality index has reached a very
Absolutely.
poor and very hazardous condition, and health experts are also stating continuously that you have to take care of your health. And follow
Harsha, we leave it at that. Yes. Yes, Harsha, they're reporting live from the India Gate, talking to us about all the health hazards that are related when it comes to the air quality worsening in the national capital. For now, moving on to more breaking updates. This one coming in from Tamil Nadu, where CCTV footage has been accessed of the Coimbatore blast of the 5 people, including the deceased Jamshesha Mubin, dragging a big sack from his residence on Saturday night before the blast happened. The investigation, remember, is on to find out as to what could have possibly been inside the huge sack. Well, that is the key CCTV footage that has been accessed of the Coimbatore blast that was reported on Saturday, which also led to death of 1 person. Remember, in the CCTV footage, 5 people can also be seen. Remember, the Tamil Nadu police has of course intensified its probe in connection with the car explosion incident in the city, even as the CCTV footage showed a group of men carrying a gunny bag from the house of Jamshesha Mubin, who was killed in this particular blast. We'll go across to Varshini as well to get us more details on the probe in connection with the blast that happened on Saturday. But remember, the Tamil Nadu BJP has alleged ISIS links to the blast that happened on Saturday in Coimbatore, which claimed life of 1 person. The blast, we are also told that as seen in this particular CCTV, a gunny bag, group of men can be seen carrying a gunny bag from the house of Jamshesha Mubin, who was killed in this particular blast. We do not know yet what is in this particular gunny bag that is seen in the CCTV tape that has been accessed. Well, we'll try and go across to Varshini for more on that. But as you can see, that is the visual of the blast that was reported on Saturday in Coimbatore, and the other key CCTV footage that has now emerged of the blast. Varshini, if you could give us more details on those accused in this explosion, and also the fact that the Tamil Nadu BJP has alleged an ISIS link in this case.
Crash that has happened on Sunday early morning has definitely created a huge stir in the state of Tamil Nadu, particularly in Coimbatore, where heavy police security has been deployed right now. As we can see, the situation is definitely very tense in the city of Coimbatore, in the town hall area where this has happened. And we also saw a little, BJP kind of gathering.
All right, there seems to be a network issue with Varshini. We'll try and connect with her, but as you can see, these are the visuals that have surfaced. The key CCTV footage of the Coimbatore blast, in which 5 people, including the deceased, can be seen dragging a big sack from his residence on Saturday night when this blast was reported. Remember, the Tamil Nadu BJP has alleged an ISIS link in connection with this case. For now, moving on to a quick roundup of all that's making news from across the country. US President Joe Biden applauded the newly elected UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. Biden said that the rise of Rishi Sunak as the first Indian origin UK Prime Minister is a groundbreaking milestone.
And whether it's the United Kingdom or just today, we've gotten news that Rishi Sunak is now the Prime Minister. As my brother would say, go figure. And the Conservative Party.
Prime Minister Modi congratulated Rishi Sunak, who became the first Asian and Indian origin Prime Minister of the UK. Prime Minister Modi said that he's looking forward to working closely together on global issues. Infosys co-founder Narayana Murthy has congratulated his son-in-law Rishi Sunak as he's been elected as Britain's new Prime Minister. On his first reaction, Narayana Murthy said that we are proud of him and wish him success. Under the influence of cyclone Sitrang, a red alert has been sounded in northeast states including Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram and Tripura. The IMD has stated that widespread rainfall accompanied by thunderstorm lightning and heavy to heavy rains is expected. As Cyclone Sitrang battered parts of Bangladesh, at least 7 people lost their lives across the country. Thousands of people and livestock have been evacuated from the coastal areas in Bangladesh and moved to cyclone shelters. Despite a ban imposed on firecrackers by the Kejriwal-led Delhi government, the AQI of the capital remains in the very poor category. Post-Diwali celebrations, the AQI of the national capital is over 308. A massive fire broke out in a restaurant at Prashant Vihar area of Rohini sector in the national capital. Several fire tenders were rushed to the spot, and after hours of firefighting operations, the fire has now been doused. JDS has staged a protest over the poor state of roads in Bengaluru. In a unique way of protest, JDS workers celebrated Diwali near potholes in the city. The JDS has given 15 days ultimatum to the state government to clear the pothole menace in the state. Dramatic visuals coming in right now. The visuals right now are... These are the dramatic visuals coming in right now of the JDS conducting pothole Diwali in Bengaluru. We are told that the JDS has given a 15-day ultimatum to the state government, or they plan to conduct protests across all the BBMP wards. And this is in relation to the pothole menace, of course, in Bengaluru and several other regions as well in Karnataka. The JDS mocking the government of Karnataka and the poor state of roads in Bengaluru staged a protest against potholes that was led by JDS MLC T.A. Sharavana near the Majestic railway station. Those are the dramatic visuals coming in right now of the JDS workers holding a sit-in protest against the pothole menace in the state. And we'll try and go across to Prajwal as well to get his insights as well when we talk about the pothole situation in Bengaluru specifically that has claimed lives of people as well in the past. But as you can see, these are the visuals of the JDS workers who are staging a sit-in protest in the Majestic railway station area. And they've also given a ultimatum to the state government, a 15-day ultimatum that has been given to the state government by the JDS to work on the pothole situation in Bengaluru, else they would conduct protests across all the BBMP wards. So those are the visuals coming in right now, dramatic visuals coming in of the JDS workers staging a protest, a sit-in protest as they celebrate Diwali while sitting near the potholes in the Majestic railway station area of Bengaluru. We'll try and go across to Prajwal as well for more details, but what we're given to understand is that a 15-day ultimatum that has also been given to the state government to work on the pothole situation in the state. Prajwal is also joining us right now on the phone line. Prajwal, if you could throw some light as to the pothole situation that prevails in the state government. What has the state government done in recent past to work on the situation?
Yeah. Samiksha, now initially when the rain started pouring in the first week of September, the government went on to allot a fund of 500 to 600 crore rupees, stating that all the potholes will be filled across the city of Bengaluru. Then on the 21st of September, the Karnataka High Court wrapped the BBMP, stating that the potholes were not filled in Bengaluru, which is resulting in tragic death. Because we recently saw that 47-year-old Uma Devi also passed away near the ESI circle on Watal Nagaraj Road as well. But no sort of works are happening right now. And whenever the BBMP is asked about this, the BBMP states that it has been raining constantly in the city, and therefore they have not been able to fill up these roads. And even if they fill up these roads during the rainy seasons, the asphalt is coming out, and it is turning out to be a huge problem for them. And therefore, in this particular regard, the JDS legislators led by MLC Sarvana staged the unique protest, calling it a pothole Diwali near Majestic as well as the Majestic railway station, because we got to understand that this particular junction sees lakhs of vehicles moving on a day-to-day basis, and we have the BMTC and the KSRTC bus stands right next to each other, and therefore they complained about the civic infrastructure in the city and stated that it is collapsing, because the BJP initially made a statement that it is only the Bommanahalli Mahadevpura zone and towards Bengaluru East for square kilometers measuring around 7 to 8 square kilometers is being affected. But now political parties have started taking a dig at the BJP state government, saying that it is not only one particular zone, but spread across all the 243 wards in the respective BBMP constituencies where potholes are being seen. And the JDS and the Congress also called out the BBMP, saying that only white lies is being made by the BBMP commissioner and the BBMP authorities, because in their in their notice which was submitted to the High Court of Karnataka, they had mentioned that there were only 231 potholes, but none of them have been filled up, and there are thousands of potholes across the entire stretch of the city, including.
And moving on to more news then, Britain's Conservative Party leader Rishi Sunak has now become the first Indian origin Prime Minister of the UK. Former UK Chancellor of the Exchequer Rishi Sunak on Monday became the Conservative Party leader less than 2 months after he lost to Liz Truss in the Tory leadership race.
Rishi Sunak will be the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, tasked to steer the economically floundering nation days after his predecessor Liz Truss stepped down. The Indian origin British politician was elected Conservative Party leader and will become the next Prime Minister after rival Penny Mordaunt failed to secure the necessary 100 nominations and withdrew her candidature.
Good afternoon. As returning officer in the leadership election, I can confirm that we have received one valid nomination. Rishi Sunak is therefore elected as leader of the Conservative Party. You may wish to know the new leader of the party will address us in this room at 2:30. Thank you.
The former Chancellor of the Exchequer, who said he wanted to fix our economy, unite our party and deliver for our country when he declared his candidacy, held a solid lead in the contest, having comfortably surpassed the 100 MPs threshold to make the shortlist in time for the Monday deadline. Minutes ahead of the deadline, his opponent Penny Mordaunt conceded defeat in the Tory leadership contest. Sunak's victory is a remarkable turnaround in political fortunes for the former finance minister, who lost out to outgoing Prime Minister Liz Truss just last month after his popularity among party colleagues did not translate in the wider Tory membership vote. Truss on Thursday announced her resignation as the Prime Minister after just 45 days in office, following an open revolt against her leadership in the Conservative Party.
And my priority has always been to try and protect as many people's jobs as possible. That was the priority at the start. It remains my priority now, and I think that is the right priority to have as we think about the next phase of the pandemic and how our economy recovers through it.
Sunak's political career began with winning a safe Tory seat of Richmond in Yorkshire in 2015, and from junior roles in the Treasury, he was suddenly catapulted to the post of Chancellor of the Exchequer when his former boss, Sajid Javid, resigned in February 2020.
I am prepared to give everything I have in service to our nation, to restore trust, rebuild our economy, and reunite the country. I want to have a grown-up conversation where I can tell you the truth. A better future is not given, it is earned. That is why I am standing to be the next leader of the Conservative Party and your Prime Minister.
He proved wrong the doubters who feared his inexperience of high office would see him overpowered by his new boss, Boris Johnson, as he credibly led the economic response to the COVID pandemic. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
A very short break. Lots on the other side. High alert over cyclone Sitrang. 7 reported dead in Bangladesh. And 2 Indians go missing in Kenya. External Affairs Ministry expresses concern, says in close touch with the authorities.
11,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
Look at the site right now. All the diyas, 15 lakh diyas have been lit. It is beautiful. Golden light all across Ram Ki Bedi. It is definitely a sight to be seen. and to be experienced here in Ayodhya. The festive season can be experienced here.
It is the first time in 7 years that on the occasion of Diwali, Delhi's air quality is poor, which is very close to very poor, but not in the worst condition.
Boris Johnson out of UK PM race, Rishi Sunak inches closer.
These BSF Jawan, they are also celebrating Diwali here at the international border.
Prime Minister, he is in Kargil to be celebrating the festival with the army Jawans at Kargil.
Chhattisgarh Sukma, where 74 Battalion of the CRPF celebrated Diwali at the Dornapal camp with great fervour.
Rishi Sunak is therefore elected as leader of the Conservative.
Look at the site right now. All the diyas, 15 lakh diyas have been lit. It is beautiful. Golden light all across Ram Ki Bedi. It is definitely a sight to be seen and to be experienced here in Ayodhya. The festive season can be experienced here.
It is the first time in 7 years that on the occasion of Diwali, Delhi's air quality is poor, which is very close to very poor, but not in the worst condition.
Boris Johnson out of UK PM race, Rishi Sunak inches closer.
These BSF Jawan, they are also celebrating Diwali here at the international border.
Prime Minister, he is in Kargil to be celebrating the festival with the army Jawans at Kargil. A very good morning. Thanks for staying with us on Live and Breaking. I am Nivedna Prabhu. We have lots lined up for you, but before that, let's take a quick look at the headlines at 9:30. Days after Coimbatore blast, key CCTV footage emerges. Was there a larger conspiracy behind is the big question. Clashes reported in Vadodara, security beefed up as situation remains tense. After Diwali celebrations, national capital continues to choke, AQI now in very poor category. But on the other hand, BJP versus AAP war of words continue. BJP now says blame Kejriwal and not Diwali. High alert over cyclone Sitrang, 7 reported dead in Bangladesh. 2 Indians go missing in Kenya. External Affairs Ministry expresses concern, says in close touch with Kenyan authorities. Now, the disaster management authorities in Meghalaya have been kept on high alert as cyclone Sitrang is likely to bring heavy rain in many parts of the state. Now, at least 4 districts bordering Bangladesh, the administration directed the authorities to keep all educational institutes shut on Tuesday in view of the cyclone. Now, the districts are East and West Jantiya Hills, East Khasi Hills and Southwest Khasi Hills. Other districts were directed to keep all field officers alert at all times, monitor the situation and report in case of emergency. Now, the IMD forecast is generally cloudy sky with continuous rain in many parts of Meghalaya on Tuesday. Now, on the other hand, the National Highway Authority of India has been directed to keep its manpower and machines ready for any emergency requirement in any part of the state. We also have GP Sharma, SkyMed President, joining us on the broadcast. GP Sharma, thank you for talking to us on Republic TV. A very good morning to you. Give us a sense of the particular situation out here. We also understand that the IMD has issued an alert. But if you could talk to us about, what we can expect in terms of the weather for these particular areas.
Yes, Nivedita, the cyclone Sitrang it already crossed coast, so that's late last night. It crossed Bangladesh coast. It mostly spared Indian coastline, starting from Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, and largely even West Bengal. Yes, when it was crossing, it was Ganges Delta, that region which is Bangladesh and West Bengal border, Sundarban area of West Bengal. From there, very close to that, it crossed, but crossed over Bangladesh. But there was some inclement weather conditions, but largely over Sundarban area, even most parts of West Bengal also, they were spared of this fury of the storm, including the capital city, Kolkata. Bangladesh, yes, there have been heavy to very heavy rains, couple of stations, Singh, even the capital city, Dhaka, had some heavy rains. But after crossing the coast, the storm has weakened now, to a depression. And it very soon, it will be again, further weakening to well-marked low pressure area. But Nivedita, what happens is all these storms, even when they weaken to depression and low pressure area, it is proceeding northeastward, which is northeastern parts of India. So weakened systems, remnant of these cyclonic storms also, they are good enough to cause some widespread rainfall over northeastern parts. And I will say today, Assam, Meghalaya, and even parts of Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, they will have a heavy rainfall. Couple of stations possibly may have some very heavy rainfall because the terrain is such. It's a heterogeneous terrain there, valleys, forest, water bodies, all combined together. So that puts that area under alert for at least about 12 hours from now. We can expect some heavy rains, but the catastrophic damage is not expected even over those areas. Yes, Nivedita.
Talking about, of course, Cyclone Sitrang, if you could talk to us about the kind of impact or the kind of, damage that it can actually cause.
As I said earlier, this storm had intensified to a severe cyclonic storm before crossing the coast. Means the winds in association with this in the inner ring of in excess of 100 km per hour. And what is the damaging potential of the storm is gauged with the combination, I will say deadly combination of the strong winds and the heavy rains. Okay, so that is what has caused, but mostly affected the Bangladesh region. Winds in excess of 100 km per hour and possibly gusting even about 110, 120 kilometers per hour in the proximity of the coastline. But now the storm has weakened. Winds will be to the tune of 50 to 60 kilometers per hour. And gradually they also will slow down further. But then we remain under alert situations for the next about 24 hours for northeastern parts. In any case, also over parts of Bangladesh, northeastern parts of Bangladesh and northeast India, mainly Meghalaya, Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, as I said, and even Nagaland region. There is a fear of even some landslide also because due to heavy rains over northeastern parts. Already monsoon season though is over, but the rains were still continuing till last week over that area and followed by these rains, heavy rains. So there is a threat of some these extremely heavy rains in some parts, which will cause some landslides and some other connectivity issues over that area. But threat will be over, I think, another 12 hours or so. It should be generally resuming normal conditions with very light to moderate rainfall only over entire region. So another 12 hours we got to be watch out for these inclement weather conditions. Yes, Nivedita.
Right, JP Sharma, as you're pointing that out, what kind of precautions should one take into mind when combating this particular situation? If you could talk to us about that.
See, Nivedita, disaster management agencies, actually, they were prepared well. They have taken all precautionary measures in anticipation of strike of this particular storm. And as I said, we were lucky enough that we didn't fall straight in the firing range of this particular storm as such. But then Bangladesh region, yes, they have been impacted. But then the state governments of all these states also, including northeastern states and also state of West Bengal, right, even state of Odisha, they were well prepared before the strike of the storm, when it was deep in the sea, to take, if required, the people to safe shelters at short notice, and also provide all the relief measures which are needed in case it required. So that was in anticipation done very well. But then fortunately we didn't need those at many of these places, including Odisha and West Bengal region. But then West Bengal region, partly that is, as I said, Ganges Delta, Sundarban region, which will not be very densely populated, but yes, 24 Pargana, South 24 Pargana region will have some good rains. But then all the precautionary measures in terms of taking the people to a soft places, or providing the rehabilitation or any other help which is needed for the people who fall in the close proximity of the track of the storm, that have been initiated. And then, but then now, as I said, another 12 hours, conditions will improve very, very largely. All the announcements were made well in advance to be prepared by the disaster management agencies to make people aware, right from the lower rung of the people to all those which were supposed to be affected. So now, as I said, since the danger, I think the worst is already over now. The danger is very, very limited now. The remnant of the system possibly will cause some heavy rains. We need to exercise caution for another 12 hours, especially Northeast India, where, as I said earlier, the terrain is a little difficult. The mountains are there,
Right.
jungles are there, river valleys are
JP Sharma, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast and giving us your valuable inputs. Like you, of course, mentioned as well, the worst is over, but of course, precautionary measures to be taken over the next 12 hours as well in terms of Cyclone Sitrang. Once again, we appreciate you talking to us on Republic TV. But moving on to other stories that we're tracking at this hour. US President Joe Biden applauded the newly elected UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. Now, Biden said that the ascent of Rishi Sunak as the first Indian origin UK Prime Minister is a groundbreaking milestone.
And whether it's the United Kingdom or just today, we've got news that Rishi Sunak is now the Prime Minister. As my brother would say, go figure. And the Conservative Party.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulated Rishi Sunak, who became the first Asian and Indian origin Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Prime Minister Modi said that he's looking forward to working closely together on global issues. Infosys co-founder Narayana Murthy has responded to the elevation of his son-in-law Rishi Sunak as Britain's Prime Minister. On his first reaction, Narayana Murthy has said, "We are proud of him and wish him success." Under the influence of Cyclone Sitrang, a red alert indicating heavy to very heavy and extremely heavy rainfall has been issued for Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram and Tripura. Now, the IMD stated that widespread rainfall accompanied by thunderstorms, lightning and heavy to very heavy rainfall is likely to be witnessed. As Cyclone Sitrang battered parts of Bangladesh, at least 7 people lost their lives across the country. Thousands of people and livestock have been evacuated from Cox's Bazar coast in Bangladesh and moved to the cyclone shelters. Despite a ban imposed on firecrackers by the Kejriwal-led Delhi government, the air quality of the capital remained in the very poor category post-Diwali celebrations. The AQI of New Delhi is over 380. A massive fire broke out in a restaurant at Prashant Vihar area of Rohini sector in the national capital. Several fire tenders were rushed to the spot, and after hours of firefighting operations, the fire has now been doused. On the other side of this short break, days after Coimbatore blast, key CCTV footage emerges. Was there a larger conspiracy behind is the big question. And clashes reported in Vadodara, security beefed up as situation remains tense. We'll get you the latest on that on the other side. Stay tuned.
$11,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
It is the first time in 7 years that on the occasion of Diwali, Delhi's air quality is poor, which is very close to very poor, but not in the worst condition.
Boris Johnson out of UK PM race, Rishi Sunak inches closer.
These BSF Jawans, they are also celebrating Diwali here at the international border.
Prime Minister, he is in Kargil to be celebrating the festival with the Army Jawans at Kargil.
Chhattisgarh Sukma, where 74 Battalion of the CRPF celebrated Diwali at the Dornapal camp with great fervour.
Rishi Sunak is therefore elected as leader of the Conservative.
Look at the site right now. All the diyas, 15 lakh diyas have been lit. It is beautiful. Golden light all across. Ram ki Bedi. It is definitely a sight to be seen and to be experienced here in Ayodhya. The festive season can be experienced here.
It is the first time in 7 years that on the occasion of Diwali, Delhi's air quality is poor, which is very close to very poor, but not in the worst condition.
Boris Johnson out of UK PM race, Rishi Sunak inches closer.
These BSF Jawans, they are also celebrating Diwali here at the international border.
Prime Minister, he is in Kargil to be celebrating the festival.
Chhattisgarh Sukma, where 74 Battalion of the CRPF celebrated Diwali at the Dornapal camp with great fervour.
Rishi Sunak is therefore elected as leader of the Conservative.
Jammu and Kashmir police reaction on Kashmiri Pandit families moving to Jammu from Shopian, Chaudhry Gun area where PK Butt was killed by terrorists. Now adequate security has been provided, bulletproof bunker installed for security. The district SP herself visited those living and they told her that they are moving on Diwali, which is an annual affair. One family is still there in the village as construction of a house is going on. So that is the big breaking news that is coming in, where Jammu and Kashmir police have reacted on the Kashmiri Pandit families moving to Jammu from Shopian. We also have Gursimran who's joining us live with all the latest details. Gursimran, over to you to give us a sense of what is really happening there. We've also understood that adequate security has also been provided, including a bulletproof bunker installed for security. But what are the other additional details that you can tell us?
See, this has come after the killing of Poon-Krishan Bhatt in the Chaudhry Gund area that has happened last week, and yesterday was the 10th day of Poon-Krishan Bhatt, and yesterday the news came that some of the families have planned to move and they have started moving towards Jammu, after which we spoke to some of the senior officials of the Jammu and Kashmir police, and they told us that adequate security arrangements have been made for the Kashmiri Pandit's family. There are a handful of families living in the Chaudhry Gund area, and the adequate arrangements have been made for the minority community. Even the bulletproof bunkers too have been installed in the area so as to ensure the safety and security of those living in the area. Apart from that, they said that the district SP of the Shopian, Tanushri, herself visited the families and the families were assured of the security, and the families have told that this was an annual affair, that they moved to Jammu on the eve of Diwali, and for the time of winter they moved back to Jammu. One of the family is still living in the Shopian's Chaudhry Gund as the construction of her house is going on, so there is nothing kind of a panic. This is what the Jammu and Kashmir police is telling, that the adequate security arrangements are in place and no need to panic for the minority community about their security in the Shopian, Chaudhry Gund or the nearby areas.
Gursimran, we also did see protests after, in fact, last week where we saw 3 Kashmiri Pandits who were killed as well. So in terms of that, when you were speaking to, residents over there, they were clearly asking for justice in terms of better safety and security measures as well.
Yes, see, those Kashmiri Pandit employee, those who are working in the Kashmir Valley, they still have a fear. They are here since May when the killing of Rahul Bhatt was taken place in the Budgam revenue office. Since then, they are in Jammu and they are protesting that they be moved out of the Kashmir Valley. But time and again, the government has claimed that the security is being provided to them. But they say that the targeted killings are not coming to an end and they won't go back. This is what the migrant employees are saying. But when coming to this specific incident of families moving out of Chaudhry Gund area of the Shopian post killing of PK Bhatt, they said that the adequate security arrangement has been made by the Jammu and Kashmir police and they will ensure the security of the minority in the region. For more, stay tuned to Republic TV right after this short break.
Chhattisgarh Sukma, where 74 Battalion of the CRPF celebrated Diwali at the Dornapal camp with great fervour.
Rishi Sunak is therefore elected as leader of the Conservative.
Look at the site right now. All the diyas, 15 lakh diyas have been lit. It is beautiful. Golden light all across Ram Ki Bedi. It is definitely a sight to be seen and to be experienced here in Ayodhya. The festive season can be experienced here.
It is the first time in 7 years that on the occasion of Diwali, Delhi's air quality is poor, which is very close to very poor, but not in the worst condition.
Boris Johnson out of UK PM race, Rishi Sunak inches closer.
These BSF Jawan, they are also celebrating Diwali here at the international border.
Prime Minister, he is in Kargil to be celebrating the festival with the Army Jawans at Kargil.
Chhattisgarh Sukma, where 74 Battalion of the CRPF celebrated Diwali at the Dornapal camp with great fervour.
Rishi Sunak is therefore elected as leader of the Conservative.
Look at the site right now. All the diyas, 15 lakh diyas have been lit. It is beautiful. Golden light all across Ram Ki Bedi. It is definitely a sight to be seen and to be experienced here in Ayodhya. The festive.
Breaking news that is coming in. Stones were pelted at each other in a clash between two communities late last night in Vadodara's Panigate area is what we're understanding so far. Now, many vehicles were set on fire and shops were also vandalized. Now, as soon as the information was received, Vadodara police and top officials reached the spot and efforts were made to bring the situation under control. Now, while the police were patrolling, the police officer was also attacked with a petrol bomb. So, two groups clashing over there in Vadodara where they pelted stones at each other. This clash took place between two communities late last night is what we're understanding so far in Vadodara's Panigate area. Now, many vehicles were set on fire and shops were also vandalized. And we also have a reaction coming in. Let's listen in.
મુસ્લિમ મેડિકલ પાસે જે પથ્થરમારીની ઘટના બની છે તેમાં પોલીસે તાત્કાલિક પહોંચીને કાર્યવાહી કરી છે. હાલમાં પરિસ્થિતિ સંપૂર્ણ કંટ્રોલમાં છે. જે પથ્થરમાર થયો છે કયા કારણે થયો છે એ બાબતે અમે સીસીટીવી ફૂટેજ અને જે આઈ વિટનેસીસ છે એમની પાસેથી અમે પૂરી માહિતી મેળવીને આ બાબતમાં સખત કાર્યવાહી કરવામાં આવશે.
સર, સ્ટ્રીટ લાઇટ બંધ કરીને હુમલો કરવામાં આવ્યો છે, શું કહેશો?
એ બાબતે તમામ સીસીટીવી ફૂટેજને બધું ચેક કરીને સંપૂર્ણ તથ્યોની પૂરી ચકાસણી કરીને પૂરી કાર્યવાહી કરવામાં આવશે.
સર, આપ પર પણ પેટ્રોલ બોમ્બથી હુમલો કરવામાં આવ્યો છે, રેકોર્ડેડ છે, શું કહેશો?
પેટ્રોલ બોમ્બ એના માટે જે ઘરમાં પણ તપાસ કરવામાં આવી છે, એક વ્યક્તિ મળેલ છે, એની પણ હાલમાં અમે પૂછપરછ કરી.
સર, કોઈ ટીયર ગેસના સેલ છોડાયા છે?
ટીયર ગેસ નથી છોડાયા.
Well, like the police official was also stating that they have taken cognizance of the situation. They're looking into investigating the CCTV footage as well to understand why this clash took place. Now, this clash happened in Vadodara's Pani Gate area is what we're learning. In fact, a police officer was also attacked with a petrol bomb when these two communities were clashing in this particular area of Vadodara's Pani Gate. In fact, talking about the damage that was caused, many vehicles were set on fire and shops were also vandalized. We'll try, of course, getting in more inputs about this story on Republic later during the day. But moving on to other news across the globe. Ukrainian President Zelensky has stated that his country is crushing the so-called second army of the world. Now, speaking on the 8th-month anniversary of Russia invading Ukraine, Zelensky said that from now on, Russia will only be a pawn. The White House has repeatedly rejected Russia's talk of a possible dirty bomb attack in Ukraine as the war enters its 9th month. The Kremlin accused Western leaders of refusing to listen to the arguments of the Russian side or take part in peace mediations to end the war in Ukraine. Now, speaking to reporters, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry said that the French and German leaders are not willing to engage with Moscow. Australia's Treasurer Jim Chalmers has congratulated former British Treasury Chief Rishi Sunak, who is set to become the United Kingdom's first Prime Minister of colour. Taiwanese president has stated that democracy and rule-based order are facing the greatest of challenges since the Cold War. And still to come on Republic TV, high alert over cyclone Sitrang, 7 reported dead in Bangladesh. And 2 Indians go missing in Kenya. External Affairs Ministry expresses concern, says in close touch with Kenyan authorities. We'll get you the latest on that on the other side of this short break. Stay tuned.
Look at the site right now. All the diyas, 15 lakh diyas have been lit. It is beautiful. Golden light all across Ram Ki Bedi. It is definitely a sight to be seen and to be experienced here in Ayodhya. The festive season can be experienced here.
It is the first time in 7 years that on the occasion of Diwali, Delhi's air quality is poor, which is very close to very poor, but not in the worst condition.
Boris Johnson out of UK PM race, Rishi Sunak inches closer.
These BSF Jawan, they are also celebrating Diwali here at the international border.
Prime Minister, he is in Kargil to be celebrating the festival with the army jawans at Kargil.
Chhattisgarh Sukma, where 74 Battalion of the CRPF celebrated Diwali at the Dornapal camp with great fervour.
Rishi Sunak is therefore elected as leader of the Conservative.
Look at the site right now. All the diyas, 15 lakh diyas have been lit. It is beautiful. Golden light all across Ram Ki Bedi. It is definitely a sight to be seen and to be experienced here in Ayodhya. The festive season can be experienced here.
It is the first time in 7 years that on the occasion of Diwali, Delhi's air quality is poor, which is very close to very poor, but not in the worst condition.
Boris Johnson out of UK PM race, Rishi Sunak inches closer.
These BSF Jawan, they are also celebrating Diwali here at the international border.
Prime Minister, he is in Kargil to be celebrating the festival with the army Jawans at Kargil.
Chhattisgarh Sukma, where 74 Battalion of the CRPF celebrated Diwali at the Dornapal camp with great fervour.
Rishi Sunak is therefore elected as leader of the Conservative.
It is the first time in 7 years that on the occasion of Diwali, Delhi's air quality is poor but not in the worst condition.
Boris Johnson out of UK PM race, Rishi Sunak inches closer.
These BSF Jawan, they are also celebrating Diwali here at the international border.
Prime Minister, he is in Kargil to be celebrating the festival with the army Jawans at Kargil.
Good morning and welcome. You are watching Live and Breaking on Republic TV. I'm Nupur Talwar Suri. We begin with a look at the top headlines. Days after the Coimbatore blast, key CCTV footage emerges. Was there a larger conspiracy behind this? Clashes reported in Vadodara. Security is heightened as situation remains tense. After Diwali celebrations, the national capital continues to choke. The AQI is now in the very poor category. But the BJP versus the Aam Aadmi Party war of words is continuing. The BJP now says blame Kejriwal and not Diwali. There is a high alert over cyclone Sitrang. 7 reported dead in Bangladesh. 2 Indians go missing in Kenya. The External Affairs Ministry expresses its concerns as close touch with Kenyan authorities. The news just coming in, India has described as very disturbing the circumstances surrounding the abduction of 2 Indians in Kenya and subsequent lack of information in the case. The Indian High Commissioner to Kenya, Namgya Kampa, met with the Kenyan President William Somnoi Ruto and requested him, in fact, to expedite the investigation into the matter. The External Affairs Ministry has also spoken about this. A close aide of the Kenyan president last week claimed that the 2 missing Indians, Mohammad Zaid Sami Kidwai and Zulfikar Ahmad Khan, have been killed by the disbanded DCI, that is the Directorate of Criminal Investigations Unit. According to a media report, it is learned that the Kenyan government has not said anything officially on this report. Kidwai and Khan, who were part of the Kenya Kwanzaa digital campaign team, went missing alongside the taxi driver from the Mombasa Road in July. Niranjan Narayan Swamy, in fact, is joining us right now on the phone line with more on this. Niranjan, it is now feared, of course, that these 2 Indians who were kidnapped a while ago could had been killed.
Well, it's very disturbing news coming in that the Indians and their driver were taken to a forest and killed, as per reports in the media in Kenya and the African media also reporting. The Nation Media Group in Africa is reporting that there's an affidavit filed in a court detailing how 2 Indians and their Kenyan taxi driver were trailed, abducted and killed inside a forest by a 4-man squad. And the squad is from the now disbanded Special Service Unit of the Directorate of Criminal Investigation. So it appears that it was actually the killers, they have actually been from the establishment in Kenya. They work with the government in Kenya, and it appears that the investigating officer in a sworn affidavit filed in court I said that the 3 people who were killed, including the 2 Indians, were marked, and it was a matter of when, not if, they would be killed. Now, the motivation for this murder is not known. The affidavit does not highlight the motive for the murders, but sheds light on an alleged killer squad. Killer squad ready to pull the trigger and working closely with other rogue elements within this government establishment in Kenya. So that's a very disturbing development. I want to tell you that the names of the killers or the accused are also known. Peter Muti Gachiku, Francis Muendo, John Mwangi, Joseph Kamau, accused of killing Mohammed Zaid Sami, Zulfikar Ahmad Khan, both of whom are from India, and even the Kenyan taxi driver. And they've been arraigned before the Chief Magistrate Court in Kenya. And these are, very, very disturbing details coming in. There are pictures of the Indians as well. And it appears that the Indians were working there in some capacity as some part of the social media campaign or with the government in Kenya. So we are waiting for more details, but this is a big story from Kenya and very, very disturbing. The 2 Indians have been killed.
Absolutely. Right, Niranjan, thank you for that. As you're pointing out, of course, very disturbing reports now coming in that seem to suggest that the 2 Indians who were allegedly abducted have news reports now seeming to suggest that they may have been killed inside the forest after they were abducted from the Mombasa road in July. Now, the Indian government, of course, is in continuous and regular touch with the Kenyan government. We are given to understand that an affidavit has been filed in this particular case. We are still awaiting an official statement to come out from the Kenyan government. But what we do know so far is that the people who could have killed these 2 Indians, one could have belonged to the disbanded DCI, which is the Directorate of Criminal Investigation. So obviously this was something that was banned last week, but it was part of the government. So we are given to understand is that these 2 Indians were on their way to Mombasa. They were on their way with their driver in a car where they were allegedly abducted and were allegedly killed. Now, 4 people have been held in connection with this murder. The Indian government, of course, continuously in touch with the Kenyan government. Indian government also extremely upset about, the manner in which this case has been handled by the police over there and the complete lack of transparency and information that was forthcoming from the Kenyan side, because it's been quite some time. They were abducted in July, and it's only now that we are coming to know of their fate. Perhaps the Indian government, of course, has continuously been pushing about this, but the Kenyans have the Kenyan government, of course, not wanting to answer any questions. Now, truth that now seems to emerge seems to suggest that these 2 Indians, along with the driver, were killed by this Directorate of Criminal Investigations unit, which has now been banned. Now, there was considerable pressure on the Kenyan government to come out clean about this Directorate of Criminal Investigations. Nivedana also joins us right now from our newsroom in New Delhi. Nivedana, give us more details of what are now emerging of what really transpired. They were, of course, abducted in July, and we're now coming to know in October that perhaps they could have been killed.
Right, this is of course a disturbing incident that is coming out of Kenya. But just to talk about the affidavit as well, what we're learning so far is that it was filed at the Kawa Law Courts yesterday, and it detailed about how 2 Indians and their Kenyan taxi driver were trailed, abducted and killed inside this particular forest. Now, in fact, the investigating officer, Mikhail Query, in a sworn affidavit filed in the court yesterday, said that the 3 were marked men and it was a matter of when and not if they would be killed. Now, what is the details that we're, of course, also awaiting is the motive behind this particular incident, Nupur.
All right, Nivedana, thank you very much for joining us. So as Nivedana is pointing out, news coming in that these 2 Indians who were abducted in July could have been killed. Now, in a viral video just days before the Mungode by-polls, Political parties continuing with their campaigns. Now, a minister and TRS leader Harish Rao has organized a meeting with voters in Munagore. But after the meeting, the local TRS leaders were seen distributing liquor bottles to voters. Now, this meeting was held at the Convention Hall in Munagore. Hitting out at the TRS, the BJP said that such things are objectionable and money liquor should not be distributed by leaders. So this, of course, making for a considerable controversy. Pictures on your screen are of what really happened at this TRS meet. We are given to understand that there was money as well as liquor bottles that were distributed before this by-poll that takes place in Munagore. Aneri now joins us live from Hyderabad. She has more details on this. Aneri, good morning. To begin with, give us more details in terms of where this has been reported from and the reaction that we are getting from the TRS.
Well, Nupur, we have been seeing this comes just days before the Munaguru by-elections, which are all set to take place on 3rd of November. But yes, there is a high decimal campaigning which has been going on from the BJP and the TRS end, but also at the same time now a bizarre move coming in where we see that this has been a viral video which claims that these local leaders who are there present where they are distributing liquor bottles to the voters, because just before this incident, there was a meeting which was held by the TRS leader and also the Telangana Minister Harish Rao, where we had seen that he was holding a meeting with the voters, and then after that, few TRS local leaders were seen distributing liquor bottles to the voters there. But now we also have been seeing how the Bharatiya Janata Party has been hitting out at the TRS government and at the TRS, which is now BRS also, and also they have been stating that such incidents are condemnable, and also TRS has been indulging in money, liquor and poaching of leaders from one party to another party, and so this has to stop, and Election Commission of India should take an cognizance of this matter. But now we see that this has been a viral video where we see that a few local leaders are seen distributing liquor bottles to the voters. This comes after the meeting which was held between the TRS leader Harish Rao and the voters there for the Munaguru by-elections. Well, this meeting was held in Rangareddy district though, and Munaguru by-elections falls under the Nalgonda district.
All right, stay with us, Aneri. Let's go across to Mr. N.V. Subhash, who joins us on the phone line. He's from the BJP. Mr. Subhash, how do you see this? Now, this is, of course, not the first time that we are seeing something like this. There has been previous incidents also of political parties distributing liquor.
The TRS party wanted to win this election by hook or crook. Since the elections are being held in Munaguru, and the police and the media as well as the election commission are in busy there. So they are asking the voters and some of the leaders to come to Hyderabad, near outskirts of Hyderabad, where including the ministers, the sad part is including the ministers are distributing liquor and food also, food grains also, including money. So they are really desperate because the Bharatiya Janata Party is going to win these elections by hook or crook. They wanted to maintain the momentum, and huge money has been even distributed, whereas the money of the TRS party, which being caught by the police, it is being diverted that Bharatiya Janata Party leaders are in the car, and then they are putting the blame on the Bharatiya Janata Party leaders, wherein the Bharatiya Janata Party leaders and the state leaders, including the Karyakartas also, they are going the door-to-door campaigning and then telling how the BJP is going to win these elections and what are the benefits the BJP is going to do under Narendra Modi's government. The TRS government has failed in almost in all subjects. Only during the by-elections they give little scope for the development. After the elections they don't even see their faces, which we have seen in earlier by-polls also in Telangana. So definitely this kind of attitude and then luring the voters and the leaders are being seen with the TRS leaders, including the ministers, which is really shameful act that being in the ruling party, leaving their own constituencies, including ministers, 18 ministers of the cabinet of Telangana government and 88 MLAs are now campaigning in Munugodu just to win the elections. So where is the democracy and where is the the voters are being just the question that this kind of huge amount being spent just to get some little bit of votes for the sake of winning the elections in order to cover up their the TRS government's failures.
All right, Mr. Subhash, appreciate your speaking to us on Republic TV. So the BJP over there saying that the TRS is resorting to all sorts of tactics to make sure that they win this by-poll. Let's go back on the ground to Aneri. Aneri, any reaction that we are getting from the TRS yet? Because obviously this is going to raise eyebrows, the manner in which liquor bottles were distributed, and allegations also coming in that there were other things, there was money also distributed.
That's right, Nupur. We have been seeing that there is a lot of money which has been seized in the last few days by the police officials. Well, there have been regular checks which are being done at the checkpost, whichever vehicle moves towards Munugodu, because as of now, we have been seeing high decimal campaigning which has been going on from the TRS and the BJP, but also at the same time, not to forget how these liquor bottles are being distributed. Well, TRS has not yet reacted to it, but yes, the Bharatiya Janata Party says that the Election Commission of India should take a note of it, and also at the same time, as you can see in the visuals also, that few local TRS leaders were seen distributing the liquor bottles. People are taking the liquor bottles and moving out from that, and this comes after the meeting which was held by the TRS leader and the minister Harish Rao with the voters ahead of the Munugodu by-elections. Well, we have been seeing how there is a tough competition because the Congress leader, Komatreddy Rajgopal Reddy, had resigned from the Congress party and from the MLA's post and then joined into the Bharatiya Janata Party. But now the TRS and the BJP says they are confident of winning these elections.
All right, stay with us. Let's also listen into reactions that we are getting from the BJP on this.
Debating the Hyderabad city, there are a lot of voters who are from Munugodu who are residing at LB Nagar and other places of Hyderabad city. The Bharatiya Janata Party has already held 2-3 meetings of those voters, but now TRS has come up. Mr. Harish Rao, the minister, health minister, he organized a meeting of such voters, and after the meeting, soon after the meeting, they distributed liquor bottles to these voters. I think this is something objectionable. The Election Commission would definitely be apprised of this fact. Not only in awaiting Hyderabad outside Munugodu constituency, but even in Munugodu, money, then liquor, then leaders poaching is on by TRS government. Money is being spent like water, and this is what the Bharatiya Janata Party objected and earlier reported this matter to the Election Commission of India. We further demand the Election Commission of India to post the vigilant officers so that such type of electoral malpractices should not occur in the Munugodu Assembly election by-elections for the fair and transparent elections.
So the BJP attacking the TRS over there over this incident that has been reported ahead of the by-polls. In this particular incident, we are given to understand that liquor bottles and money were distributed at an event. Now, two communities in Vadodara pelted stones at each other in a clash that's been reported late night. Now, many vehicles were set on fire and shops were vandalized. As soon as the information was received, the Vadodara police and top officials reached the spot and efforts were made to bring the situation under control. While the police have been conducting regular patrolling, the police officers were also attacked with petrol bombs.
મુસ્લિમ મેડિકલ પાસે જે પથ્થરમારીની ઘટના બની છે તેમાં પોલીસે તાત્કાલિક પહોંચીને કાર્યવાહી કરી છે. હાલમાં પરિસ્થિતિ સંપૂર્ણ કંટ્રોલમાં છે. જે પથ્થરમાર થયો છે કયા કારણે થયો છે એ બાબતે અમે સીસીટીવી ફૂટેજ અને જે આઈ વિટનેસીસ છે એમની પાસેથી અમે પૂરી માહિતી મેળવીને આ બાબતમાં સખતમાં સખત કાર્યવાહી કરવામાં આવશે.
સર, સ્ટ્રીટ લાઇટ બંધ કરીને હુમલો કરવામાં આવ્યો છે, શું કહેશો?
એ બાબતે તમામ સીસીટીવી ફૂટેજને બધું ચેક કરીને સંપૂર્ણ તથ્યોની પૂરી ચકાસણી કરીને પૂરી કાર્યવાહી કરવામાં આવશે.
સર, આપ પર પણ પેટ્રોલ બોમ્બથી હુમલો કરવામાં આવ્યો છે, રેકોર્ડેડ છે, શું કહેશો?
પેટ્રોલ પંપ એના માટે જે ઘરમાં પણ તપાસ કરવામાં આવી છે એક વ્યક્તિ મળેલ છે એની પણ હાલમાં અમે પૂછપરછ કરી.
સર કોઈ ટીયર ગેસના સેલ છોડાયા છે એવું કશું?
ટીયર ગેસ નથી છોડાયા.
All right, so that's the top police official of the area, the DCP over there, confirming the incident, also going on to say that patrolling is continuously on in this sensitive area. There were two communities, we are given to understand, who clashed. There were stones that were belted in this sensitive area of Vadodara. The police, of course, now conducting regular checks, also monitoring the situation. We are given to understand that some arrests have been made in the case, and the police, of course, not wanting to take any chances over there, have been patrolling the streets. Now, the incident, of course, broke out late last evening when there were some clashes that were reported between two communities in Vadodara. We are given to understand that as a fallout of the clash, many vehicles were set on fire and shops were also vandalized in this particular area. Now, as soon as information was received by the police of tension in the area, the police rushed to the spot. They tried to control the situation. There have been some arrests that have been made. However, while police was patrolling this area, a police officer was also attacked, I beg your pardon, with a petrol bomb. Priyanka is reporting on this. She joins us live from Ahmedabad right now. Priyanka, good morning. Priyanka, to begin with, give us a situation update. How are things over there right now? Are they seeming more under control?
Well, definitely more under control since last night. Those images of the last night that we are putting out on our screens right now for our viewers as well tell us the story of what had really gone down in Vadodara as well. So this is in the middle of the city of Vadodara where this entire clashes have broken out, and we had seen how two groups had come face to face, and then of course there was stone pelting that was done. But more than that, it was even more escalated, post which the police had to come there and had to resort to lathi charge and also tear gas shells. And of course there were also petrol bombs that were being hurled at the police officers, not just at each other when the communities had come face to face, but there were petrol bombs that were being hurled at the police officers, in fact at the vehicles of the police officers as well. Post which we have seen that the police had to be deployed, extra police had to be deployed.
Well, all right. Priyanka over there joining us from Ahmedabad, giving us a situation update. We're given to understand that the situation right now is peaceful. Now, this is the center of Vadodara where this incident was reported last night. And here's a look at what else is making news this morning. US President Joe Biden has applauded the newly elected British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. Biden said the ascent of Rishi Sunak as the first Indian origin Prime Minister is a groundbreaking milestone.
And whether it's the United Kingdom or just today, we've got news that Rishi Sunak is now the Prime Minister. As my brother would say, go figure. And the Conservative Party.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulated Rishi Sunak, who became the first Asian and Indian origin Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. The Prime Minister said he's looking forward to working closely with him on global issues. Infosys co-founder Narayana Murthy has responded to the elevation of his son-in-law Rishi Sunak as Britain's Prime Minister. On his first reaction, Narayana Murthy said that we are proud of him and wish him success. Under the influence of cyclone Sitrang, a red alert indicating heavy to very heavy rainfall has been issued for Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram and Tripura. The IMD said that widespread rainfall accompanied by thunderstorms, lightning and heavy to very heavy rains are likely to be witnessed. As Cyclone Sitrang battered parts of Bangladesh, at least 7 people have lost their lives across the country. Thousands of people and livestock has been evacuated from Cox's Bazar coast in Bangladesh and moved to the cyclone shelters. Now, Despite a ban imposed on firecrackers by the Kejriwal government, the air quality index of Delhi remains in the very poor category. Post-Diwali celebrations, the AQI as of now is 380. A massive fire has broken out in a restaurant in Prashant Vihar area of Rohini sector in the national capital. Several fire tenders were rushed to the spot, and after hours of firefighting operations, the fire has now been doused. And the JDS has staged a protest over the poor state of roads in Bengaluru. In a unique way of protest, the JDS workers celebrated Diwali near potholes in the Majestic City area. The JDS has given 15 days ultimatum to the state government, or else they plan to conduct protests all across BBMP wards. Now, Britain's Conservative Party leader Rishi Sunak has become the first Indian origin Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Former UK Chancellor of the Exchequer Rishi Sunak on Monday became the Conservative Party leader less than 2 months after he lost to Liz Truss in the Tory leadership race.
Rishi Sunak will be the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, tasked to steer the economically floundering nation days after his predecessor Liz Truss stepped down. The Indian origin British politician was elected Conservative Party leader and will become the next Prime Minister after rival Penny Mordaunt failed to secure the necessary 100 nominations and withdrew her candidature.
Good afternoon. As returning officer in the leadership election, I can confirm that we have received one valid nomination. Rishi Sunak is therefore elected as leader of the Conservative Party. And you may wish to know the new leader of the party will address us in this room at 2:30. Thank you.
The former Chancellor of the Exchequer, who said he wanted to fix our economy, unite our party and deliver for our country when he declared his candidacy, held a solid lead in the contest, having comfortably surpassed the 100 MPs threshold to make the shortlist in time for the Monday deadline. Minutes ahead of the deadline, his opponent Penny Mordaunt conceded defeat in the Tory leadership contest. Sunak's victory is a remarkable turnaround in political fortunes for the former finance minister, who lost out to outgoing Prime Minister Liz Truss just last month after his popularity among party colleagues did not translate in the wider Tory membership vote. Truss on Thursday announced her resignation as the Prime Minister after just 45 days in office, following an open revolt against her leadership in the Conservative Party.
And my priority has always been to try and protect as many people's jobs as possible. That was the priority at the start. It remains my priority now, and I think that is the right priority to have as we think about the next phase of the pandemic and how our economy recovers through it.
Sunak's political career began with winning a safe Tory seat of Richmond in Yorkshire in 2015, and from junior roles in the Treasury, he was suddenly catapulted to the post of Chancellor of the Exchequer when his former boss, Sajid Javid, resigned in February 2020.
I am prepared to give everything I have in service to our nation, to restore trust, rebuild our economy, and reunite the country. I want to have a grown-up conversation where I can tell you the truth. A better future is not given, it is earned. That is why I am standing to be the next leader of the Conservative Party and your Prime Minister.
He proved wrong the doubters who feared his inexperience of high office would see him overpowered by his new boss, Boris Johnson, as he credibly led the economic response to the COVID pandemic. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
You are with Republic TV, and still to come, days after the Coimbatore blast, a key CCTV footage emerges. Was there a larger conspiracy? And after Diwali celebrations, the national capital continues to choke. The AQI is now in the very poor category.
Style? For me, it's the pursuit of timeless elegance. Crisp, clean, classic, subtle brilliance. You don't know what it is that catches your eye, but it does, you know. The cut, the color, the lines. There's something in the essence of the evergreen. You feel special, selected. That's when I know I found the right fit. When I feel selected.
It is the first time in 7 years that on the occasion of Diwali, Delhi's air quality is poor, which is very close to very poor, but not in the worst condition.
Boris Johnson out of UK PM race, Rishi Sunak inches closer.
These BSF Jawan, they are also celebrating Diwali here at the international border.
Prime Minister, he is in Kargil to be celebrating the festival with the army Jawans at Kargil.
Chhattisgarh Sukma, where 74 Battalion of the CRPF celebrated Diwali at the Dornapal camp with great fervour.
Rishi Sunak is therefore elected as leader of the Conservative.
Look at the site right now. All the diyas, 15 lakh diyas have been lit. It is beautiful. Golden light all across Ram Ki Bedi. It is definitely a sight to be seen and to be experienced here in Ayodhya. The festive season can be experienced here.
It is the first time in 7 years that on the occasion of Diwali, Delhi's air quality is poor, which is very close to very poor, but not in the worst condition.
Boris Johnson out of UK PM race, Rishi Sunak inches closer.
These BSF Jawan, they are also celebrating Diwali here at the international border.
Prime Minister, he is in Kargil to be celebrating.
Chhattisgarh Sukma, where 74 Battalion of the CRPF celebrated Diwali at the Dornapal camp with great fervour.
Rishi Sunak is therefore elected as leader of the Conservative.
A very good morning. Thanks for staying with us on Live and Breaking with me, Nivedna Prabhu. Lots lined up for you in this edition of Live and Breaking. But before that, let's take a quick look at the headlines. Days after Coimbatore blast, key CCTV footage emerges. Was there a larger conspiracy behind it? Clashes reported in Vadodara, security beefed up as situations remains tense. After Diwali celebrations, national capital continues to choke. AQI now in very poor category. But on the other hand, BJP versus AAP war of words continue. BJP now says blame Kejriwal and not Diwali. High alert over cyclone Sitrang, 7 reported dead in Bangladesh. Two Indians targeted and killed by 4-man squad in Kenya. Motive behind the gruesome murders yet to be known. Breaking news coming in, this one in relation to the Coimbatore car blast case. Now, special teams conduct inquiry with certain undisclosed prisoners in Kerala's Viewer prison. Now, after information that the person who died, Jamesha Mubin, had met someone from the prison, the special teams conduct investigation in Kerala. Now, special teams conduct an inquiry in Kerala is the big breaking news that is coming in. Now, remember, this is in connection to the Coimbatore car blast case. We also have Ashwin reporting live on the story. Ashwin, very good morning to you. Give us the latest in terms of the fact that the special teams will be inquiring into this particular case.
Well, Nivedana, good morning. The latest information that we are trying to pick up from our sources is that the special investigation team probing the Coimbatore car blast case will also be visiting the Viyur Central Jail in Thrissur. The reason is that some of the, as per the registry of the Thrissur Viyur Central Jail, the deceased person in the car blast had in fact visited one of the accused, and it has been primarily reported from our sources that we are able to pick up from our sources that the accused whom he met was in fact part of the Easter blast at Sri Lanka also. So the investigation is also going in that direction, whether this is a terror blast that was being planned by the accused, by the deceased in this case. So that is the reason why the special investigation team is coming down to Kerala. We are also getting to pick up from our NIA sources that in 2019 the deceased was also questioned by the NIA as well. But we are awaiting more details. We are keeping our tracks very closely on the story. We'll be getting more updates from the Viyur jail after some time as well. Back to you, Nivedana.
Ashwin, considering you were also pointing out whether there's a larger conspiracy in terms of, a terror angle as well, because just a few days ago, even Tamil Nadu BJP was, talking about this having connection with the ISIS.
That has to be ascertained because now the special investigation team has definitely arrested 5 more individuals in this connection from Coimbatore itself based on the CCTV footage. All the details of those accused are also, being probed. But the Kerala angle definitely is interesting, and because in Viyur Central Jail, some of the NIA accused are there, especially the Sri Lanka blast accused is also there. So we are getting a hint, a primary hint that this person had met with the accused in the Easter blast case in Sri Lanka, who was a suspect in that case. So if it is true, if the probe agencies can finalize on this, then it would mean that there could be a larger conspiracy to create a terror blast in the country as well. But that is awaited. We are expecting NIA to give an official statement in this regard. Nivedana.
As you're pointing out those important details as well, Ashwin, we did see that CCTV footage as well of 5 people, including the deceased, that is Mubin dragging a big sack from his residence is what we understood from that particular CCTV footage. Now, an interesting angle will also be, what could possibly have been inside the sack as well?
Well, Nivedra, the 5 people who have been arrested, who has been in that CCTV footage and identified as Mohammad Talka, Mohammad Asruddin, Mohammad Riaz, Firoz Ismail and Mohammad Nawaz Ismail, all of them hailing from Ukkadam in Tamil Nadu. Now, definitely the agencies will be probing the finer aspects of it, the deeper aspects of it. How did these 5 individuals, what were they carrying, what was in that white sack? All those details will definitely be probed. But interesting is the angle that the Jamisha had met with another blast case accused, a suspect, a prime suspect in fact, in a central jail in Thrissur district. So this is definitely looks like the entire conspiracy sounds very big. It could have been it could have been a larger plan of attacking some of the very sensitive places also. Even the blast that occurred in Coimbatore was very near to a temple as well. So all this needs to be probed in a very detailed fashion, that is for sure. From our NIA sources, we are getting to gather in 2019, the same Jamisha was in fact questioned by the NIA for some other case as well. All those details we are trying to pick it up. But at the moment, all we can say is there could be a possibility of a deeper nexus which aimed at creating terror in the country as well. Nivedana.
Right, Ashwin, thank you for getting us those details. While, like Ashwin did point out, the mystery over the Coimbatore blast, in fact, gets bigger now. A team from Tamil Nadu leaves for Kerala is what we're understanding. The Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Sri Lanka investigation link as well will be further probed as and when, Ashwin was also pointing out that we will be picking up more information from NIA sources as well as to what the latest development on this will be. But moving on to more breaking news that's coming in. We're getting news from Karnataka, where a body of another seer, Basvalinga Swami of Sri Kanchugal Bande Mutt, aged 45, was found in a room of the mutt in the Ramanagara district yesterday. Now, the seer had an unnatural death, is what we're learning so far. Now, the case was registered at Kudur PS. Now, a 2-page death note was found in the room of the mutt in Ramanagara district, where the pontiff's body was found after an unnatural death. So that is the big news that is coming in from Karnataka, where a body of another seer, that is Basvalinga Swami of the Sri Kanchugal Bande Mutt, aged 45, was found in a room of the mutt in Ramanagara district. The seer had an unnatural death, is what we've understood so far. Now, in fact, a 2-page death note was also found in the room of the mutt in the Ramanagara district, where the pontiff's body was found yesterday after his unnatural death. Well, this is the latest information that we're getting in terms of a body of another seer that was where he was found dead in Ramanagara. Now, the person in question was Basvalinga Swami of the Sri Kanchugal Bande Mutt, who is aged 45. This took place in the room of the mutt in Ramanagara district yesterday. In fact, this seer had an unnatural death. The case was also registered at Kudur police station. In fact, talking about the particular incident, a 2-page death note was also recovered in the room of the mutt in Ramanagara district, where the pontiff's body was found yesterday after an unnatural death. For more on this, we're joined in by Prajwal on the phone lines. Prajwal, give us more information about this particular incident that is coming in from Karnataka.
Now, looking at what the preliminary investigations have revealed here, we are getting to know that there has been a 3-page suicide note which has already been left by the Basavalinga seer of the Bande Mutt, and it is now being revealed that in this particular death note over 13, the seer has not mentioned the names, but he's told that 13 people were frequently blackmailing him and trying to assassinate his character. And the names of 2 people have been mentioned in this particular incident. But the police, especially the Ramanagara SP, has stated that as of now, the names cannot be revealed because the investigations are underway as of now. And now looking at this entire investigation, it is mainly pointing out that this might be a case of blackmail, because even in the suicide letter too, he's also spoken that he was frequently blackmailed. But regarding what was he blackmailed is still not being learned. And secondly, now it is also being stated that for the past 6 months, the Swamiji was depressed. But the issue is still not being known, and now his close aides have already been called into interrogation in this particular regard. And also, more details are yet to be revealed by the SP. And now they are also going through the entire call records of Swamiji and the calls that he had received for the past 1 week. Because in the death note, in the suicide note, it is particularly being mentioned as...
All right, Prajwal. Yes, Prajwal, thank you for getting us those latest inputs. We'll keep coming back to you later in the day to be tracking this particular story. But this one in regard coming out from Karnataka, where a 45-year-old seer was found dead in Ramanagara. But moving on to other stories that we're tracking at this hour. Ukraine President Zelensky has stated that his country is crushing the so-called Second Army of the world. Speaking on the 8th-month anniversary of Russia invading Ukraine, Zelensky said that from now on, Russia will only be a pawn. The White House has repeatedly rejected Russia's talk of a possible dirty bomb attack in Ukraine as the war enters its 9th month. The Kremlin accused Western leaders of refusing to listen to the arguments of the Russian side or take part in peace mediations, to end the war in Ukraine. Speaking to reporters, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry said that the French and German leaders are not willing to engage with Moscow. Australia's Treasurer Jim Chalmers has congratulated former British Treasury Chief Rishi Sunak, who is set to become the United Kingdom's first Prime Minister of colour. Taiwanese president has stated that democracy and rule-based order are facing the greatest of challenges since the Cold War. Time for a short break, but on the other side, days after Coimbatore blast, key CCTV footage emerges. Was there a larger conspiracy behind it? After Diwali celebration, national capital continues to choke. AQI now in very poor category. We'll get you the latest on that. Stay with us.
Chhattisgarh Sukma, where 74 Battalion of the CRPF celebrated Diwali at the Dornapal camp with great fervour.
Rishi Sunak is therefore elected as leader of the Conservative.
Look at the site right now. All the diyas, 15 lakh diyas have been lit. It is beautiful. Golden light all across Ram Ki Bedi. It is definitely a sight to be seen and to be experienced here in Ayodhya. The festive season can be experienced here.
It is the first time in 7 years that on the occasion of Diwali, Delhi's air quality is poor, which is very close to very poor, but not in the worst condition.
Boris Johnson out of UK PM race, Rishi Sunak inches closer.
These BSF Jawan, they are also celebrating Diwali here at the international border.
Prime Minister, he is in Kargil to be celebrating the festival with the army Jawans at Kargil.
Chhattisgarh Sukma, where 74 Battalion of the CRPF celebrated Diwali at the Dornapal camp with great fervour.
Rishi Sunak is therefore elected as leader of the Conservative.
Look at the site right now. All the diyas, 15 lakh diyas have been lit. It is beautiful.
It is the first time in 7 years that on the occasion of Diwali, Delhi's air quality is poor, but not in the worst condition.
Boris Johnson out of UK PM race, Rishi Sunak inches closer.
These BSF Jawan, they are also celebrating Diwali here at the international border.
Prime Minister, he is in Kargil to be celebrating the festival with the army Jawans at Kargil. Breaking news coming in, members of two communities clashed over the bursting of firecrackers in a locality in Gujarat's Vadodara city on Diwali. Now, following which, the police have detained 19 people from the two sides. The clash broke out at around 12:45 a.m. on Tuesday in the communally sensitive Panigate locality. Now, those detained included a person who allegedly hurled a petrol bomb at policemen from the third floor of this house in the locality near an hour after the clash broke out. For more on this, we're joined in by Priyanka, who's getting us the latest. Priyanka, good morning to you. Give us a sense of what the present situation is like. We also understand that many have been detained in this particular clash that broke out in Vadodara. All right, we'll try connecting to Priyanka to get us more information on that. But the latest in this particular incident that is coming out of Vadodara is that the police have detained 19 people from the two sides. We have Priyanka joining us to give us the latest inputs on this. Priyanka, talking about this particular incident where two groups, of course, clash, but the latest, of course, being that 19 people have been detained. Over to you to give us the latest inputs as well as a sense of the present situation out there.
Well, that's right, Nivedana. The police, of course, is carrying out this crackdown on these miscreants who had been creating this kind of violent situation, a law and order problem there in Vadodara. Because let me tell you, this was in the middle of the city in Vadodara where this entire incident had taken place in the late last night, when all of these community members, in fact, had come face to face. And of course, there was stone pelting that was being carried out. And more than that, we also see that the violence had broken out, because of which the police had to then resort to lathi charges. And of course, we were also hearing reports of how there were several of these suspects who were hurling petrol bombs at the cars of the police officers as well, who had come at the spot to maintain the entire situation, to calm down the entire situation as well. Apart from that, we were also learning that the police has now been able to identify 19 of these suspects, and also what they were really doing, how they were placed, and how this entire clash, in fact, had also broken out over bursting firecrackers. Now, since of course we saw that this was the Diwali night where the firecrackers were being burst, there were also a firecracker that landed on one of the vehicles, on a two-wheeler, on a motorcycle, we're being told, where the firecrackers had landed, and because of which that had also caught on fire, which only added fuel to the fire of the violence that had already broken out. And we do see how these two people, communities, in fact, the members of these communities are being detained right now. They are being taken into custody, and the police, of course, will also be looking at the CCTV footages to identify who all had been present there, and whether or not this was something that was done in a premeditated fashion, or was it a sporadic spur of the
Well, thanks Priyanka for getting us all those latest details in terms of where two communities clashed over the bursting of firecrackers in a locality in Gujarat's Vadodara city on Diwali. What we're understanding so far is that 19 people from both the sides have been detained. But moving on to other news that we're tracking at this hour. US President Joe Biden applauded the newly elected UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. Now, Biden said that the ascent of Rishi Sunak as the first Indian origin UK Prime Minister is a groundbreaking milestone.
And whether it's the United Kingdom or just today, we've got news that Rishi Sunak is now the Prime Minister. As my brother would say, go figure. And the Conservative Party.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulated Rishi Sunak, who became the first Asian and Indian origin Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Now, Prime Minister Modi said he's looking forward to working closely together on global issues. Infosys co-founder Narayan Murthy has responded to the elevation of his son-in-law Rishi Sunak as Britain's Prime Minister. On his first reaction, Narayan Murthy said, "We are proud of him and wish him success." Under the influence of Cyclone Sitrang, a red alert indicating heavy to very heavy and extremely heavy rainfall has been issued for Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram and Tripura. Now, IMD stated that widespread rainfall accompanied by thunderstorms, lightning and heavy to very heavy rainfall is likely to be witnessed. As Cyclone Sitrang battered parts of Bangladesh, at least 7 people lost their lives across the country. Thousands of people and livestock have been evacuated from Cox's Bazar coast in Bangladesh and moved to the cyclone shelters. Despite a ban imposed on firecrackers by the Kejriwal-led Delhi government, the air quality of the capital remained in the very poor category post-Diwali celebrations. The AQI of New Delhi is over 380. A massive fire broke out in a restaurant at Prashant Vihar area of Rohini sector in the national capital. Several fire tenders were rushed to the spot, and after hours of firefighting operations, the fire has now been doused. JDS has staged a protest over the poor state of roads in Bengaluru. In a unique way of protest, JDS workers celebrate Diwali near potholes in the majestic area of the city. Now, JDS has given an ultimatum of 15 days to the state government, or else they plan to conduct protests across all the BBMP wards. Now, Britain's Conservative Party leader, Rishi Sunak, becomes the first Indian origin Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Now, former UK Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rishi Sunak, on Monday became the Conservative Party leader less than 2 months after he lost to Liz Truss in the Tory leadership race. We get you more in our next report.
Rishi Sunak will be the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, tasked to steer the economically floundering nation days after his predecessor Liz Truss stepped down. The Indian origin British politician was elected Conservative Party leader and will become the next Prime Minister after rival Penny Mordaunt failed to secure the necessary 100 nominations and withdrew her candidature.
Good afternoon. As returning officer in the leadership election, I can confirm that we have received one valid nomination. Rishi Sunak is therefore elected as leader of the Conservative Party. And you may wish to know the new leader of the party will address us in this room at 2:30. Thank you.
The former Chancellor of the Exchequer, who said he wanted to fix our economy, unite our party, and deliver for our country when he declared his candidacy, held a solid lead in the contest, having comfortably surpassed the 100 MPs threshold to make the shortlist in time for the Monday deadline. Minutes ahead of the deadline, his opponent Penny Mordaunt conceded defeat in the Tory leadership contest. Sunak's victory is a remarkable turnaround in political fortunes for the former finance minister, who lost out to outgoing Prime Minister Liz Truss just last month after his popularity among party colleagues did not translate in the wider Tory membership vote. Truss on Thursday announced her resignation as the Prime Minister after just 45 days in office, following an open revolt against her leadership in the Conservative Party.
And my priority has always been to try and protect as many people's jobs as possible. That was the priority at the start. It remains my priority now, and I think that is the right priority to have as we think about the next phase of the pandemic and how our economy recovers through it.
Sunak's political career began with winning a safe Tory seat of Richmond in Yorkshire in 2015, and from junior roles in the Treasury, he was suddenly catapulted to the post of Chancellor of the Exchequer when his former boss, Sajid Javid, resigned in February 2020.
I am prepared to give everything I have in service to our nation, to restore trust, rebuild our economy, and reunite the country. I want to have a grown-up conversation where I can tell you the truth. A better future is not given, it is earned. That is why I am standing to be the next leader of the Conservative Party and your Prime Minister.
He proved wrong the doubters who feared his inexperience of high office would see him overpowered by his new boss, Boris Johnson, as he credibly led the economic response to the COVID pandemic. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
More breaking news coming in. Ravi Shankar Prasad now tweets where he has stated that he saw Mehbooba Mufti's tweet commenting on the rights of minorities in India after the election of Rishi Sunak as the Prime Minister of UK. He goes on to tag her and says, "Will you accept a minority in Jammu and Kashmir as Chief Minister of the state? Please be frank enough to reply." Now, this comes after the fact that Mehbooba Mufti had tweeted after Rishi Sunak was declared as the UK Prime Minister, where she stated that proud moment that UK will have its first Indian origin PM. While all of India rightly celebrates, it would serve us well to remember that while UK has accepted an ethnic minority member as its PM, we are still shackled by divisive and discriminatory laws like NRC and CAA. So right after that particular tweet, a reaction coming in from Ravi Shankar Prasad, where he has now tweeted, asking her directly, will you accept if a minority in Jammu and Kashmir as Chief Minister of the state, and please be frank enough to reply. So politics over Rishi Sunak over there being sworn in as the Prime Minister of UK, where earlier Mehbooba Mufti had tweeted. Several reactions, in fact, have been coming from the political front after Rishi Sunak has been declared as the new Prime Minister of UK. But now BJP questioning Mufti as well. In fact, Ravi Shankar Prasad going on to tweet after Mehbooba Mufti's tweet earlier, where she had congratulated, of course, Rishi Sunak being sworn in as the Prime Minister, also stating that India rightly celebrates and it would serve us well to remember that while UK has accepted an ethnic minority member as its PM, she went on to state that they're still shackled by discriminatory laws like NRC and CAA. So obviously this tweet, this reaction coming in from Ravi Shankar Prasad was right after that particular tweet by Mehbooba Mufti, when now Ravi Shankar Prasad has hit out, or rather questioned Mehbooba Mufti, where she earlier had commented on the rights of minorities in India. So now Ravi Shankar Prasad reacting there, where He has said in that particular tweet, "Will you accept a minority in Jammu and Kashmir as Chief Minister of the state? Please be frank enough to reply." Well, Ravi Shankar Prasad over there reacting about the fact where Mehbooba Mufti had earlier tweeted. This comes right after the fact that Rishi Sunak was declared as the UK Prime Minister. In fact, many politicians have been reacting ever since that declaration had come in, where he will be, of course, the first Indian origin UK Prime Minister. But on the other hand, clear case of politics over Rishi Sunak being sworn in as UK's Prime Minister. Now, Ravi Shankar Prasad tweeting after Mehbooba's Mufti tweet. For more on this, we're joined in by Anuj, who's giving us the latest inputs about this. Anuj, of course, a lot of politics, has come out after the fact that Indian origin Rishi Sunak to be the Prime Minister of UK. But now, of course, clearly, Mehbooba Mufti had tweeted earlier. Now, Ravi Shankar Prasad reacting to that particular tweet. Give us the sense of all the other reactions that are coming in terms of this particular episode.
Let me talk about the latest development, and this is Bharatiya Janata Party, Ravi Shankar Prasad now, who is counter-attacking on the same tweet which has been made in by Mehbooba Mufti, the former Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. There, the politics could be clearly seen on.
Well, we'll continue to get the latest inputs about that as well. But this, of course, where Ravi Shankar Prasad has tweeted saying that Mehbooba Mufti's tweet commenting on the rights of minorities in India after the election of Rishi Sunak as Prime Minister of UK, where the attack has been, where he in that particular tweet has stated, "Will you accept a minority in Jammu and Kashmir as Chief Minister of the state? Please be frank enough to reply." So we'll continue to get the latest inputs on this particular story with all the other reactions coming in about where Ravi Shankar, of course, has questioned Mehbooba Mufti as well. We'll have to wait and watch what are the further developments. But we continue to track the latest on the politics that have now emerged after Rishi Sunak has been elected as the Prime Minister of UK. We'll be slipping into a short break right now. Lots more lined up on the other side.
Right now, all the diyas, 15 lakh diyas have been lit. It is beautiful, golden light all across Ram Ki Bedi. It is definitely a sight to be seen and to be experienced here in Ayodhya. The festive season can be experienced here.
It is the first time in 7 years that on the occasion of Diwali, Delhi's air quality is poor, which is very close to very poor, but not in the worst condition.
Boris Johnson out of UK PM race, Rishi Sunak inches closer.
These BSF Jawan, they are also celebrating Diwali here at the international border.
Prime Minister, he is in Kargil to be celebrating the festival with the Army Jawans at Kargil.
Chhattisgarh Sukma, where 74 Battalion of the CRPF celebrated Diwali at the Dornapal camp with great fervour.
Rishi Sunak is therefore elected as leader of the Conservative.
Look at the sight right now. All the diyas, 15 lakh diyas have been lit. It is beautiful, golden light all across Ram Ki Bedi. It is definitely a sight to be seen and to be experienced here in Ayodhya. The festive season can be experienced here.
It is the first time in 7 years that on the occasion of Diwali, Delhi's air quality is poor, which is very close to very poor, but not in the worst condition.
Boris Johnson out of UK PM race, Rishi Sunak inches closer.
These BSF Jawan, they are also celebrating Diwali here at the international border.
Prime Minister, he is in Kargil to be celebrating the festival with the Army Jawans at Kargil.
History is scripted. Rishi Sunak becomes the United Kingdom's first non-white Indian origin Hindu Prime Minister. But the opposition raises minority leaders' debate. Mystery over the Coimbatore blast after the BJP's deeper ISIS-linked claim. Tamil Nadu's Kerala, Sri Lanka investigation links emerge. Communal clashes are reported in Vadodara. 19 people are detained. Police says investigation underway. 2 Indians trailed, targeted and killed by a 4-man squad in Kenya. Motive behind the gruesome murders is yet to be known. After chicken distribution, liquor bottles now. Is BRS on a liquor spree ahead of by-polls to lure voters? Good morning and welcome. You are watching live and breaking on Republic TV. I'm Nupur Talwar Suri. The big news that we are tracking today, of course, is the new British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, who has now become the United Kingdom's first non-white Indian origin Hindu Prime Minister. And even as he is set to take oath today and will, of course, be going to meet the King, the opposition is raising the debate over minority leader using Rishi Sunak. Going on to say that the Congress party, of course, raising the issue of a minority prime minister. So the debate over this has taken a political perspective now. This comes even as, of course, we earlier saw Mehbooba Mufti tweeting about this. And Abhishek Kapoor now on the phone line with us. Abhishek, good morning. Abhishek, I mean, this is a bizarre turn that this seems to be taking. Instead of appreciating the kind of hard work and grit and determination that Rishi Sunak obviously, epitomizes, the opposition is making this into an entirely different debate.
Well, Nupur, one would say the Congress party's leaders like Chidambaram and Tharoor and, of course, Mehbooba Mufti have walked into a trap. And insofar as political debate goes, they might pay dearly in the sense that they show poor understanding of how the dynamics play out in India vis-a-vis the United Kingdom. Also, for example, the likes of Chidambaram and Tharoor are forgetting that for the time of last 10 years that the Congress party is in power, both Chidambaram and Tharoor had a minority leader in Sardar Manmohan Singh as their boss and the Prime Minister of the country. And not to forget that since independence, we have a diversity of minority leaders taking the topmost positions in the country, including the Indian Armed Forces and the judiciary. We have had the 2 chief justices, we have had presidents and vice presidents and ministers at the top level. The entire education system of the country is a legacy in many ways of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. We have had APJ Abdul Kalam as the president of India. So I think the Congress party really misunderstood. And of course, the rebuttal that has come from Ravi Shankar Prasad on Mehbooba Mufti, whether she, in her right mind, would acknowledge that if Jammu and Kashmir has not had a minority chief minister vis-a-vis the majority population in the valley, is it because of the politics of Mehbooba Mufti herself imbued as
All right, I'm going to have to interrupt you up there. All right, I'm going to have to interrupt you there, Abhishek. We'll come back to you, Mr. Gaurav Bhatia from the BJP on the phone line with us. Mr. Bhatia, do you see this as completely bizarre? And also the fact perhaps that the opposition is running out of issues and this, many would fail to understand why rake up issue of minority politics when the only thing that everybody should be talking about is the hard work that Rishi Sunak has put in to get where he is.
I think every Indian sees it the way you have just mentioned. Rishi Sunak becomes the Prime Minister of the UK. It's a proud moment for every Britisher, be it in the majority or the minority. And thus, his hard work, great determination, his vision and love for the country should be seen, and that is the reason for success. But in India, the opposition today is rudderless. They spew venom. They are a divisive house. They only have lust for power. And they try to wake up shining examples because they themselves lack substance within. And that is why they will not see the positive side. And Mr. P. Chidambaram and Mehbooba Mufti trying to politicize this issue itself shows how pedantic and myopic their vision is.
Right, absolutely. Also, would you say, Mr. Bhatia, this is a case perhaps of the opposition not really having any, running out of ideas if one were to use that because Mr. Sunak, of course, takes over as the British Prime Minister today. But on the other side, we've also had Kamala Harris, who's been serving as the Vice President of the United States for quite some time now.
Yes, it's a case where the opposition doesn't have any issues. They have no connect with the masses of our country. And on the other side, we have Shri Narendra Modi ji-led government, who is in sync with the modern time, who is working tirelessly to make India a global leader. And Mehbooba Mufti is the same person, please remember and recollect, who says that if you abrogate Article 370, Tirange ko kandha dene wala koi nahi hoga. So they don't even love the tricolor, the national anthem. And Mr. P. Chidambaram, who's tweeting, was a votary of greater autonomy for Kashmir.
Right. Mr. Bhatia, appreciate your speaking to us on Republic TV. Thank you very much for joining us. So that is Gaurav Bhatia from the BJP over there questioning the opposition's decision to raise this issue as minority politics. I'm going to go back to Abhishek Kapoor, our senior executive editor, who's with us on the phone line right now. We will just get him on the phone line back. But this, of course, is being seen perhaps as the opposition running out of ideas to be targeting the government over this, questioning the government on minority politics. And we have, of course, seen several leaders from the Congress as well as the PDP now, Mehbooba Mufti, also tweeting on this. We've also seen P. Chidambaram, the former finance minister, also tweeting on this. Abhishek Kapoor now back with us on the phone line. Abhishek, is this perhaps a case of the opposition running out of ideas? Because the fact of the matter is that it's not just in politics, but we see Indians, across the global diaspora rise to become CEOs of so many companies. Kamala Harris is also of Indian descent.
Well, I think it's an absolute misreading, Nupur. Kamala Harris is born to American citizens in America, in the United States. Similarly, Rishi Sunak was born to UK citizens in the United Kingdom. And the Congress party, with a slant, wants to bat for the Gandhi family's first lady and Sonia Gandhi. Then obviously they are really misreading the situation. But so far as minority question is concerned, I think the BJP posited an absolutely right question to Mehbooba Mufti. Would her politics of political Islamism allow a minority leader to become a chief minister of Jammu and Kashmir? And for that matter, for both Chidambaram and Tharoor, the question is, was Manmohan Singh not a minority leader who was their boss for the 10 years that both of them were ministers in the last Congress-led government in the country? And remember, Sikhs account for just about 2% of India's population, and yet there was absolutely no question raised when, on Manmohan Singh's right to be the Prime Minister of the country. And similarly, Gyani Jail Singh, similarly, Zakir Hussain, similarly, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, similarly, APJ Abdul Kalam, and the list can go on and on. Our topmost generals have been not just from the minority communities of Sikhs and Muslims, but even from the minuscule minority of Parsis. The biggest battle victory India has had since independence came under General Manik Shah. And, it's absolutely, if one could use a strong word, foolhardy for the Congress party leaders to be making this mistake of comparing Rishi Sunak's rise. And remember also, second misreading is that Rishi Sunak has not won an election. In fact, remember the last round of elections that took place within the Conservative Party, Sunak actually lost because the Conservative base was not ready for Sunak as yet, essentially because of his brown skin. It's only when the Conservatives were left with no other option and the runoff was embarrassing them, that's when Sunak has sort of become a leader by default. So, of course, it is not a comment on the merits of and the competence of Sunak to be the Prime Minister of the country, but the fact of the matter is that it has not been easy. And similarly for Kamala Harris, as I said, she's born to American parents and she is an American citizen. So I think vis-a-vis Sonia Gandhi, those comparisons really do not wash off. Having said that, I think it's clear case of Congress misreading in their anxiety to really go one up in the eyes of Sonia Gandhi. They have made a mistake of understanding Indian politics. Of course, remember, these same congressmen and the ideology of the left liberals considers tribals a minority, and we have a tribal president incumbent in office as we speak.
Oh yes, absolutely. So that minority debate not really, holding ground. Abhishek, do stay with us. I think we've also got Mr. Sirsa on the phone line from the BJP. Mr. Sirsa, good morning. How do you see this debate that has been begun by the opposition over Rishi Sunak, where they essentially question whether India will allow for a minority to hold office at the highest levels?
देखिए, पहले तो हमें समझना होगा कि कांग्रेस की एक बहुत बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है अपने देश की हर जगह बुराई करने में, देश को छोटा दिखाने में, देश के जो पॉलिटिकल सेटअप है उसको छोटा दिखाने में यकीन करती है। तो माइनॉरिटी कैप कहाँ आती रही? गांधी और नेहरू तो हट ही नहीं रहे थे। ये तो ऐसा हालात बने कि सोनिया गांधी को बनने का मौका राष्ट्रपति ने इनकार कर दिया। इनको एक दमी आदमी चाहिए था, तो डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह जी को बना दिया। तो आपके परिवार से तो आपने छुटकारा ही नहीं दिया 70 साल तक, तो आपने अपने परिवार से कहीं बात जाने दिया, तो मिनॉरिटी कहाँ से बीच में आ जाती। और अगर एनडीए को मौका मिला तो एपीजे अब्दुल कलाम जैसे लोग इस देश के अंदर राष्ट्रपति बने और सबसे पिछड़े वर्ग से आज देश की राष्ट्रपति महिला है। लेकिन कांग्रेस को ये बर्दाश्त ही नहीं है कि देश की पूरी दुनिया के अंदर किस तरह आज चर्चा हो रही है। भारत का आज जिस तरह से परचम लहरा रहा है पूरी दुनिया में, मुझे लगता है कांग्रेस से वो बर्दाश्त नहीं है। और आज अगर देश का इंडिया से एक रखने वाला प्रधानमंत्री जाके इंडिया में बनता है तो हमें इसको बधाई देनी चाहिए, बजाय कि अपने देश को और छोटा करने की बजाय। तो मुझे कांग्रेस की अभी तक एक मंशा ही नहीं समझ आई कि कांग्रेस कहना क्या चाह रही है। क्या वो ये कहना चाह रही है कि नेहरू और गांधी परिवार बुरे थे, उन्होंने कभी मिनॉरिटी को सामने नहीं आने दिया? वो कहना क्या चाह रही है? अभी मुझे बात समझ नहीं आ रही, वो कहना क्या चाह रहे हैं देश के लोग।
All right, Mr. Sirsa, appreciate your speaking to us on Republic TV. So Manjinder Singh Sirsa over there from the BJP also questioning the intent of the Congress party in raising this minority debate. Let's also listen into a reaction that we are getting now from Shahzad Poonawala.
जब पूरी दुनिया भारत का लोहा मान रही है और भारतीय मूल का व्यक्ति ऋषि सुनक यूके का प्रधानमंत्री बना है, इसका जश्न मनाने के बदले कांग्रेस पार्टी वही कर रही है जो उसका मूल चरित्र है, बांटो और राज करो, भारत की छवि धूमिल करो और इस्लामोफोबिया का फेक कार्ड खेलो। आज कांग्रेस पार्टी डॉक्टर थरूर, पी चिदम्बरम जी जैसे लोग कह रहे कि क्या कोई माइनॉरिटी का व्यक्ति सर्वोच्च पद पर बैठ सकता है? क्या वो डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह को भूल चुके हैं? क्या वो उन्हें कभी प्रधानमंत्री नहीं मानते थे या अल्पसंख्यक समाज सिख समुदाय का नहीं मानते थे? सवाल ये भी बनता है कि चाहे ज्ञानी जेल सिंह हो, एपीजे अब्दुल कलाम हो, फखरुद्दीन अहमद हो, चीफ जस्टिस हो या बाकी के ऊंचे पौधे हो, चीफ इलेक्शन कमिश्नर हो, सभी जगह अल्पसंख्यक समुदाय के लोग आसीन हुए हैं और वो उनके माइनॉरिटी स्टेटस की वजह से नहीं, मेरिट की स्टेटस की वजह से वहां पर बैठने का काम उन्होंने किया है। परंतु कुछ लोग आज भी जो सवाल उठा रहे हैं उनका दोहरा चरित्र और दोहरा मापदंड दिखाई देता है। जिन लोगों ने नेल्ली, दिल्ली, जलगांव, मुंबई, हाशिमपुरा, मलियाना, मीरठ, भागलपुर जैसे दंगे दिए हो जिसमें हजारों की तादाद में अल्पसंख्यक समुदाय के लोग मारे गए हो, आज जब वो बात करते हैं अल्पसंख्यक समुदाय की तो ऐसा लगता है कि डेविल स्क्रिप्चर्स पढ़ा रहा है, डेविल शांति का पाठ पढ़ा रहा है। सवाल ये भी बनता है कि आज महबूबा मुफ्ती जो सवाल उठा रही है, ये वही महबूबा मुफ्ती हैं जिन्होंने 370 हटने के बाद जब वाल्मीकि समाज को उनकी बुनियादी अधिकार पहली बार मिले घाटी में तो उसका विरोध महबूबा मुफ्ती ने किया। ये वही महबूबा मुफ्ती है जब कश्मीरी हिंदुओं का नरसंहार होता है तो वो उसे इस्लामिस्ट एक्सट्रीमिज्म या इस्लामिस्ट जिहाद कहने से कतराती है और मानने से इनकार करती है कि एक इस्लामिस्ट जो जिहाद था उसकी वजह से ये नरसंहार हुआ कश्मीरी हिंदुओं का। ये वो महबूबा मुफ्ती है, जब कश्मीरी हिंदुओं को उनके अधिकार वापस दिए जा रहे हैं 370 हटने के बाद, तो वो उसका जमकर विरोध भी करती है। इस प्रकार के दोहरे मापदंड दिखाना ये इनका चरित्र बन चुका है।
So the BJP over there listing down all the minorities who have held positions of power in India as a response to the questions that have been posed by the opposition, specifically the Congress and the PDP. Now, we are now getting an update into the Coimbatore blast case. 5 more accused have been arrested in this particular case. Those arrested include Mohammad Dalga, Mohammad Azharuddin, Mohammad Riaz, Feroz Ismail, Mohammad Anas Ismail. They have all been arrested on based on CCTV footage that has been accessed. They were being questioned by the police. In fact, special teams, of course, have been conducting an inquiry into this particular case. Right, so the latest that we are getting in this particular case, of course, is that 5 people have been arrested. They are being questioned at the Ukadam police station in Coimbatore. Special teams, of course, was formed to conduct an inquiry into this case. Now, after information that one of the people was suspected to have carried a sack with some amount of explosive in it, the police looked through and sifted through the CCTV visuals of that area, and now 5 people have been arrested in this particular case. Now, CCTV footage, of course, had showed a group of men carrying a gunny bag from the house of Jamisha Mubin, who was killed in this blast. The CCTV footage also seems to show that these 5 people were carrying this gunny bag at around 11:25 p.m. on Saturday. Thereafter, of course, the cylinder explosion in the car took place, and we are given to understand that the police, while having placed under arrest these 5 people, is also questioning other people who could be involved in this particular case. Now, what we are given to understand is that traces of explosive material have been discovered from the car where this explosion took place. Ashwin is reporting on this. He joins us from Thiruvananthapuram. Ashwin, good morning. Give us the latest in terms of the investigation that has taken place. We are given to understand that 5 people have been apprehended.
Well, that's absolutely true. 5 people have been apprehended based on the CCTV footage that has been accessed by the special investigating team, which shows that at 11:30 p.m. before the day of the blast, these 5 individuals were, including the deceased Jamsheen, was carrying something in a white sack, and after which it was being transported from inside the house. Now, based on this CCTV footage, these 5 people have been picked up, and it has been understood that all the 5 are natives of Ukkadam in Tamil Nadu, and they were also part of the same team with Jamsheen as well. What is also startling is the fact that Jamsheen had in fact visited some of the accused in the Sri Lanka Easter blast case at Viyur jail in Thrissur district in Kerala as well. So the special investigating team is coming to investigate this matter as well. But what we know so far is that the 5 people who have been picked up, their association with the deceased accused Jamsheen, who had died in the car blast, who was whose house, when raided by the special investigating team, also found traces of many ammonium nitrate, sulfur and other potassium nitrate, which are all used for making bomb. So all this has been found. So there is a large deep investigation which is being carried forward. The questioning of these 5 accused will also take place, and we'll get to know more details further.
Now, Ashwin, even as the police, of course, continues with its investigation, are they perhaps suspecting that there could be a wider conspiracy?
Well, absolutely. What we get to gather from the Kerala NIA is that the registry of people who visited certain accused in this case at Viyur jail is there. And Jamsheen had in fact visited one of the accused in the Easter blast case, who is incarcerated in the Viyur jail. And number 2, we are also getting to gather in 2019, Jamsheen was in fact questioned by the NIA in a case related in a probe they were conducting back in 2019. So all this adds to the fact that, there could be a larger conspiracy behind it, especially when you see that where the blast occurred, there were also some nails which were put forward. Usually such blasts are conducted, such nails are normally seen in blasts to have a larger impact, to create large spread damage to people around. So all this is being investigated. However, it is for the agencies to confirm the same. But the initial prima facie evidence do point out that there is a larger conspiracy and it needs to be unraveled. But details of it are at the moment very sketchy. The details have to be given by the NIA, who's right now probing the case. Nupur.
Right, absolutely. Stay with us. Mr. Varakan also on the phone line with us on this. Mr. Varakan, it does appear that there was a larger conspiracy at play. As far as this blast case is concerned, there are linkages that are now being established to the Easter blasts, in Sri Lanka.
Well, the matter will have to be investigated by the NIA thoroughly, which I think they will do, and let the matter get clear, and we have a full understanding of the issue, because there is fingerprints of terror, planning, conspiracy, and it seems to be, as you said, Sri Lanka too has some connect in terms of the terrorist link. So whatever is to be investigated will be investigated by NIA, and nobody will be spared in the investigation.
All right, Mr. Varakan, appreciate your speaking to us on Republic TV on that. Tom Varakan from the BJP saying that the NIA will be looking also at the wider conspiracy. Now, linkages that are seeming to emerge suggest that perhaps there was conspiracy in terms of the blast that took place back in Sri Lanka during Easter as well. Now, I think Ashwin has more details on this. Ashwin, now reports emerging from the initial stages of the probe also seem to suggest that Mubin had been involved with various, radicalization outfits as well.
Well, there are certain hints that has been coming out, which definitely shows that this person has been, in fact, involved in radicalization. But it has to be ascertained. Only the primary evidence suggests the same. From the evidences that has come from the public domain so far, that itself is clear. There is something really deep and something really shady has been happening. Right. And this particular individual who was driving this vehicle with an LPG, two LPG cylinders along with some nails in it, and then finding some explosive materials found in his house, all points out that certainly there is a terror angle to it. It needs to be ascertained and finalized by the probe agencies. Nupur.
Right. Thank you, Ashwin, for joining us with all those updates. So, as Ashwin is pointing out, of course, 5 arrests have been made in this particular case, and investigation now being carried out by the NIA. A look now at what else is making news this morning. CCTV footage accessed in the Coimbatore car blast case seems to suggest that a group of 5 people was seen dragging a big sack. According to sources, CCTV footage has been captured in the night before the blast. A violent clash has been reported between two communities in Gujarat's Vadodara. Stones were pelted during the clash between two communities late night in Vadodara. As per reports, many vehicles were set on fire and shops were vandalized. Jammu and Kashmir police has responded to Kashmiri Pandit families moving to Jammu from Shopian. The police has stated that adequate security has been provided. The police have also said that bulletproof bunkers have been installed for security. A 44-year-old seer was found dead at a mutt in Karnataka's Ramnagar district. According to the police, 2-page note has been recovered from the seer's room. Police handed over the body to the mutt after post-mortem. Shocking poll campaign in Telangana ahead of the Munugode bike polls. BRS leaders were seen distributing liquor bottles in a viral video. A month ago, another video had surfaced of chicken being distributed along with liquor bottles.
Coimbatore car blast case has investigation unravels more details, the more details are emerging, which shows there could be a larger conspiracy behind this car blast. Stay tuned to Republic TV. We bring you all the latest updates on the story after the break. Stay tuned to Republic TV.
It is the first time in 7 years that on the occasion of Diwali, Delhi's air quality is poor, which is very close to very poor, but not in the worst condition.
Boris Johnson out of UK PM race, Rishi Sunak inches closer.
These BSF Jawan, they are also celebrating Diwali here at the international border.
Prime Minister, he is in Kargil to be celebrating the festival with the army Jawans at Kargil.
Chhattisgarh Sukma, where 74 Battalion of the CRPF celebrated Diwali at the Dornapal camp with great fervour.
Rishi Sunak is therefore elected as leader of the Conservative.
Look at the site right now. All the diyas, 15 lakh diyas have been lit. It is beautiful. Golden light all across. Ram ki Bedi. It is definitely a sight to be seen and to be experienced here in Ayodhya. The festive season can be experienced here.
It is the first time in 7 years that on the occasion of Diwali, Delhi's air quality is poor, which is very close to very poor, but not in the worst condition.
Boris Johnson out of UK PM race, Rishi Sunak inches closer.
These BSF Jawan, they are also celebrating Diwali here at the international border.
Prime Minister, he is in Kargil to be celebrating the festival with the army Jawans at Kargil.
Chhattisgarh Sukma, where 74 Battalion of the CRPF celebrated Diwali at the Dornapal camp with great fervour.
Rishi Sunak is therefore...
Diwali night, the Delhi's air quality index hit the very poor category with an AQI of 377 in Anand Vihar.
Now, Britain's Conservative Party leader Rishi Sunak has become the first Indian origin Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, former UK Chancellor of the Exchequer.
The disaster management authorities in Meghalaya have been kept on high alert as cyclone Sitrang is likely to bring heavy rain in many parts of the state. Kashmiri Pandit families moving to Jammu from Shopian, Chaudhry Gund area where PK Butt was killed by terrorists.
Good afternoon and thank you very much for staying with us on Republic TV. I'm Nupur Talwar Suri. This is Live and Breaking. We begin with the headlines at 11:30 this morning. History is scripted. Rishi Sunak becomes the United Kingdom's first non-white Indian origin Hindu Prime Minister. But the lobby is at it again, raises the minority leaders debate. The BJP hits back. Mystery over the Coimbatore blast continues after the BJP's deeper ISIS-linked claims. Sri Lanka investigation links emerge. Communal clashes in Vadodara. 19 people are detained. Police says investigation is underway. 2 Indians are trailed, targeted and killed by 4-man squad in Kenya. The motive behind the gruesome murders is yet to be known. After chicken distribution, liquor bottles now distributed is the BRS on a liquor spree ahead of by-polls to lure voters. Now, as Rishi Sunak becomes the United Kingdom's first non-white Indian origin Hindu Prime Minister, the opposition parties in India are raising the minority leaders debate using Rishi Sunak. Former Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister and the PDP President Mehbooba Mufti has, of course, raised a considerable controversy by asking the centre over what she says is discriminatory politics. Now, after her, of course, we've also seen P. Chidambaram of the Congress party questioning whether a minority can hold office, top office in India, to which, of course, the BJP has retorted, saying that they need to check their facts in terms of how many people from minority communities have been in positions of power in India, from, of course, the former Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh, who was the Prime Minister of the country for about 10 years. After that, of course, the various Chief Justices, the three presidents who came in from the minority community. So the BJP over there taking the offensive right back to the Congress as well as Mehbooba Mufti.
ये पहली दफ़ा जो इंडियन ओरिजिन का ऋषि सुनाक जो है ये प्राइम मिनिस्टर बन गया ब्रिटेन का। ये पिछली दफ़ा ही प्राइम मिनिस्टर बन गया था, लेकिन कुछ हालात ऐसे पैदा हो गए कि उसको मुमकिन नहीं हुआ, लेकिन उसने जंग नहीं छोड़ी, उसने अपने उसमें रखा और मेरा ख्याल है कि शायद 2-4 महीनों में ही ये दोबारा वहाँ प्राइम मिनिस्टर बन गए। ये बहुत अच्छी खबर है और ये हमें एक लेसन है कि हमको बड़े खुले दिल से सोचना चाहिए दुनिया कहाँ जा रही है, और हम लोग जो हैं छोटी छोटी बातों में अटके हुए हैं। अब सवाल यह है कि ऋषि सुनाक जो है, जो वहाँ चैलेंजेस हैं उनका कैसे मुकाबला करता है, ये आने वाला वक्त बताएगा, क्योंकि इस वक्त पूरी दुनिया के अंदर जो है क्राइसिस है, फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस है। पूरी दुनिया के अंदर तेल का जो मसला है वो भी बना हुआ है, यूक्रेन और रशिया की जंग जो है वो चल रही है। जो बड़ी बदकिस्मती की बात है कि 2022 जैसे साल में इस तरह की जंग होना, जबकि यूनाइटेड नेशंस जो है वो फेल हो गया है इसको कंट्रोल करने में। तो मैं आपके माध्यम से ये ज़रूर समझता हूँ, कहना चाहता हूँ कि हमारे जो इंडिया के लोग हैं उनको खुले दिल से सोचना चाहिए, और इंडिया के अंदर किसी चीज़ की कमी नहीं है। अगर कमी है तो वो एक चीज़ की कमी है कि हमारे चेहरों के ऊपर, हमारे आँखों के ऊपर वो जो चश्मा लगा है वो तौसब का चश्मा है। इस तौसब को, चश्मे को उतार दो और जिसके अंदर जो काबिलियत है उसको आगे चलने दो।
All right, the BJP of course has responded to the questions that have been raised by the opposition, and let's listen into those responses.
महबूबा को समझना चाहिए, ये सभी मिलिटेंट्स जो रहते हैं, जो आतंकी रहते हैं, ये किसी पर्टिकुलर समाज से क्यों रहते हैं, क्योंकि इनकी मानसिकता इस प्रकार से है। हमारी डेमोक्रेसी सबसे बड़ी डेमोक्रेसी है और ये समझना चाहिए कि उस डेमोक्रेसी में जिस आधार पर भी कोई आज तक आया उसको किसी ने रोका नहीं है। हालांकि कांग्रेस के लोगों ने जो एक इंदिरा गांधी के प्रति हाई कोर्ट इलाहाबाद ने कहा था, उसके बावजूद उन्होंने इमरजेंसी लगा करके देश को कुचलने की कोशिश की। ये किस पर सवाल उठाते हैं? इनको समझना चाहिए कि भारत जैसा एक ऐसा देश जिसमें सर्वधर्म समभाव को कदर किया जाता है, तो इस प्रकार की मानसिकता जो कांग्रेस की है गलत है।
Today, when the entire world is celebrating India and the fact that a person of Indian roots has become the Prime Minister of UK, a country which once ruled India for several years, instead of celebrating that, the Congress party is back to doing what it does best, that is undermine India's image and play the fake Islamophobia narrative wherever possible. Dr. Tharoor, Mr. Chidambaram, Mehbooba Mufti and their ilk have questioned whether India respects diversity and would allow a person from the minority community to ascend to the highest positions of power and constitutional positions in this country. Clearly, they have forgotten Dr. Manmohan Singh, who came from the Sikh community. Perhaps Mr. Chidambaram never really considered Dr. Manmohan Singh to be the Prime Minister of India for obvious reasons. But having said that, even the topmost constitutional position of the President of India was held by APJ Abdul Kalam, Fakhruddin Ahmad, Gyani Zail Singh and others, all belonging to the minority community. Because what should matter is not whether you are from a particular ethnic group or minority group, but whether you have the merit to hold these positions or not. And that is why Rishi Sunak has also made it where he has made it. But the problem with the likes of Mehbooba Mufti are their double standards. On the one hand, Mehbooba Mufti is opposed to the fact that the Valmiki Samaj, those other communities that were deprived of their voting rights, their basic rights, when they get their basic rights after the abrogation of Article 370, she opposes it. And today she speaks of diversity. The Congress party, which gave about 10 big riots in this country, other communities that were deprived of their voting rights, their basic rights, when they get their basic rights after the abrogation of Article 370, she opposes it. And today she speaks of diversity. The Congress party, which gave about 10 big riots in this country, right from the Sikh pogrom of 1984 to Nelli riots to Hashimpura, Meerut, Malyana, Bhagalpur, Mumbai, Jalgaon, Ahmedabad and many other riots in this country, which led to thousands of people being massacred, is today speaking about minority rights. It's like the devil preaching the scriptures. But the Congress party has always practiced the art of double standards and hypocrisy, and today they leave no stone unturned in order to undermine India's image, even at a time when the world is celebrating India and Indians across the world.
Mr. R.P. Singh also on the phone line with us. Mr. R.P. Singh, how do you see this debate that the opposition seems to have started over Rishi Sunak's elevation as Britain's Prime Minister? Do you think that they perhaps, need to think afresh on what they're saying?
Well, everything they have to do is through the prism of religion and or religiosity. I mean, there's nothing beyond that. So they are not aware that APJ Abdul Kalam was the president of this country, and many more Muslims were president of the head of the state of this country. Then Manmohan Singh was the prime minister of this country. But it's on the person's caliber that one is elevated or elected or nominated to the post of the president or prime minister of the country. It's not because he hails from a particular religion. So, but they can't see beyond it. And who's talking about it? I mean, and people who are involved and who are responsible for the maximum number of riots in the country. But today, to appease certain vote bank, they keep doing this. But they don't understand today, vote bank doesn't get satisfied with this. People look for what is the development agenda. Are they getting roof on their head? Prime Minister Modi is providing that. Are they getting tap water in their house? Prime Minister Modi is providing that. Are they getting gas cylinder at their house? It's been provided for. Or Ayushman Bharat or Kisan Samman Nidhi. So people are looking for development agenda, then the agenda of policy of vote bank, which is, and that too from a particular community.
All right, Mr. Singh, appreciate your speaking to us on Republic TV. Mr. R.P. Singh over there questioning the opposition, which has, of course, raised the issue of minorities going on to the top posts in the country. Let's also listen in to other reactions that we've been getting. All right. So this, of course, is a debate that has been set off by various opposition leaders, including, of course, Mehbooba Mufti, as well as others from the National Conference and the Congress Party. P. Chidambaram tweeted a while ago questioning whether in a country like India, a minority community will, leader from a minority community will be able and allowed to go to the topmost positions. That, of course, is a debate that has been quashed by the BJP, with the BJP, of course, reminding various opposition leaders that there have been several top posts that have been occupied by people from the minority community, including, of course, the former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, who was the Prime Minister of the country for about 10 years. Also talking about the various presidents who have held positions in India. So that debate completely being quashed by the BJP on that. And here's a quick look at what else is making news in the world of sport this morning. Phil Simmons has decided to step down as the West Indies coach after his team crashed out of the first round of the ongoing T20 World Cup in Australia. Phil Simmons described the result of the West Indies team as unfathomable. Bangladesh has defeated the Netherlands to claim the first win in the T20 World Cup. Taskin Ahmed's stunning performance with the ball poised Bangladesh for a 9-run victory over the Netherlands. In Group 2, it is Bangladesh's first victory in the Super 12 round of the 2020 World Cup. As the Sandpaper Gate controversy rocked Australian cricket, former Australian skipper Tim Paine accused South Africa of ball tampering in the Test match and claimed that the incident was covered up by match broadcasters. The former captain made the shocking revelations in his autobiography. Top-ranked Carlos Alcaraz has rallied to beat Jack Draper in the first round of the Swiss indoors. Alcaraz clinched with his third match point chance, firing a forehand winner when following in a strong serve to the left-handed Draper stretched to return. Unai Emery has left his position as Villarreal's coach to take charge of the English club at Aston Villa. It will be Emery's second spell in the Premier League after coaching Arsenal, from 2018 to 19. Villa said Emery will start as manager on the 1st of November after his work permit formalities are completed. You are with Republic TV, and coming up next, 2 Indians are trailed, targeted and killed by a 4-man squad in Kenya. Motive behind the gruesome murders yet to be known. And after chicken distribution, liquor bottles now is the BRS on a liquor spree ahead of by-polls.
Style? For me, it's the pursuit of timeless elegance. Crisp, clean, classic, subtle brilliance. You don't know what it is that catches your eye, but it does, you know. The cut, the color, the lines. There's something in the essence of the evergreen. You feel special, selected. That's when I know I found the right fit, when I feel selected.
Chhattisgarh Sukma, where 74 Battalion of the CRPF celebrated Diwali at the Dornapal camp with great fervour.
Rishi Sunak is therefore elected as leader of the Conservative.
Look at the site right now. All the diyas, 15 lakh diyas have been lit. It is beautiful. Golden light all across Ram Ki Bedi. It is definitely a sight to be seen and to be experienced here in Ayodhya. The festive season can be experienced here.
It is the first time in 7 years that on the occasion of Diwali, Delhi's air quality is poor, which is very close to very poor, but not in the worst condition.
Boris Johnson out of UK PM race, Rishi Sunak inches closer.
These BSF Jawan, they are also celebrating Diwali here at the international border.
Prime Minister, he is in Kargil to be celebrating the festival with the Army Jawans at Kargil.
It is the first time in 7 years that on the occasion of Diwali, Delhi's air quality is poor, but not in the worst condition.
Boris Johnson out of UK PM race, Rishi Sunak inches closer.
These BSF Jawan, they are also celebrating Diwali here at the international border.
Prime Minister, he is in Kargil to be celebrating the festival with the Army Jawans at Kargil.
Welcome back. You are watching Live and Breaking on Republic TV. Now, members of 2 communities clashed over the bursting of firecrackers in a locality in Gujarat's Vadodara city on Diwali, following which the police have detailed 19 people from both sides. Now, the clash took place at around 12:45 a.m. on Tuesday in the communally sensitive Panigate locality. Those detained include a person who allegedly hurled a petrol bomb at the policeman from the 3rd floor of his house in the locality nearly an hour after the clash broke out. No one has been injured in this clash. The police, however, have said that a motorcycle parked in the area caught fire after a rocket firecracker fell on it. After that incident, security has been deployed in the area and the situation is under control. Suspects from both communities are being rounded up. Now, this clash, of course, took place in a communally sensitive area in the centre of Vadodara. Let's listen in to what the DCP has said about the investigation so far.
મુસ્લિમ મેડિકલ પાસે જે પથ્થરમારીની ઘટના બની છે તેમાં પોલીસે તાત્કાલિક પહોંચીને કાર્યવાહી કરી છે. હાલમાં પરિસ્થિતિ સંપૂર્ણ કંટ્રોલમાં છે. જે પથ્થરમાર થયો છે કયા કારણે થયો છે એ બાબતે અમે સીસીટીવી ફૂટેજ અને જે આઈ વિટનેસીસ છે એમની પાસેથી અમે પૂરી માહિતી મેળવીને આ બાબતમાં સખતમાં સખત કાર્યવાહી કરવામાં આવશે.
સર, સ્ટ્રીટ લાઇટ બંધ કરીને હુમલો કરવામાં આવ્યો છે, શું કહેશો?
એ બાબતે તમામ સીસીટીવી ફૂટેજને બધું ચેક કરીને સંપૂર્ણ તથ્યોની પૂરી ચકાસણી કરીને પૂરી કાર્યવાહી કરવામાં આવશે.
સર, આપ પર પણ પેટ્રોલ બોમ્બથી હુમલો કરવામાં આવ્યો છે, રેકોર્ડેડ છે, શું કહેશો?
પેટ્રોલ પંપ એના માટે જે ઘરમાં પણ તપાસ કરવામાં આવી છે, એક વ્યક્તિ મળેલ છે, એની પણ હાલમાં અમે પૂછપરછ કરી.
સર, કોઈ ટીયર ગેસના સેલ છોડાયા છે?
ટીયર ગેસ નથી છોડાયા.
Now, the police, of course, over there, they are saying that they are investigating the matter further. This is an incident that took place late last night in the centre of Vadodara, where two communities clashed over the bursting of firecrackers. The police, in fact, had to resort to tear gas shells as well as a lathi charge to disperse the mobs which had collected in this area. We're given to understand that the police team was also attacked by a petrol bomb. So the communal clashes broke out on Diwali over the bursting of firecrackers. The area, of course, right now seems to be calm and peace has been maintained in this area. But the police have rounded up several suspects from both communities to try and ascertain the reason behind this clash and to calm tempers. Now, going on to another story that is coming in from Shivamoga, where miscreants went on a rampage in Karnataka and attacked a Hindu youth. In fact, they vandalized the posters of the slain Bajrang Dal activist Harsha near his home. The incident has come to life from Sigahatti. The bike-borne assailants swung swords at the flexes and banners that had been put in place. Miscreants have also attacked a Hindu youth, Prakash, with stones. Pictures on your screen are of him being in hospital. The incident has come to light from Bhampappa Street. The police, of course, are investigating this case and are trying to ascertain more details. Let's go across to Prajwal, who's reporting on this from Bengaluru, who joins us live now. Prajwal, tension, of course, has been high over this issue for quite some time in Shivamoga. Give us the latest of the incident that has taken place.
Happened last night, and from where this has happened, Prakash, the youth who was injured in this particular incident, belongs to one of the pro-Hindu outfits, and they had taken a rally yesterday morning in remembrance of Veer Savarkar, and later, while they were all going back to their houses after finishing the route march, it is being understood that bike-borne miscreants in two bikes went on and vandalized the posters of Harsha, the slain Bajrang Dal activist first, and Prakash, who noticed this, immediately tried to stop these bike-borne miscreants from vandalizing posters of Harsha, and he came in between these bike-borne miscreants and the posters, during which these miscreants went on to attack Prakash with the stones, and therefore he sustained some injuries to his head as well as his neck too, and later he was admitted to the Meghalaya hospital in Shivamoga, and as soon as he was admitted, there were hundreds of pro-Hindu activists outside the hospital demanding justice and stating that the law and order is not in control in Shivamoga district, and therefore the SP of Shivamoga, Mithun Kumar, had to visit the spot. Now we also get to understand that the youths who have attacked him were on a single bike, where three miscreants have gone on to attack Prakash, and he had sustained injuries. An FIR has been filed in this particular regard, but nobody has been identified by the victim Prakash himself, because he stated that all of them were wearing masks, and after attacking him they also called out slogans against the RSS, and then they zoomed off in their bike. Now the SP Mithun Kumar has also stated that footages from the CCTVs which was there at the spot is being considered, and they have taken all of these footages and they're going through it to identify what was the bike number, what was the model of the bike, and to take these miscreants into custody. And now the security has also been increased in and around Shivamoga, because there was a lot of tensions which prevailed too, mainly in Azad Nagar, KR Puram, Gandhi Bazaar, Bharmappa Street, where this particular incident took place, and around the vicinity of slain Bajrang Dal activist Harsha's residence.
Absolutely, yes, Prajwal, of course, bringing us those details on what's happening, also taking us through the investigation that is taking place. Prajwal, now, you are, of course, telling us that CCTV footage will have to be examined to be able, for the police, essentially, to be able to identify who these people were. But in the past, Prajwal, you know, we have seen tension rising in Shivamogga district, first, around the time that Harsha was killed and thereafter as well.
Absolutely, because since then Shivamogga has always there has been a lot of communal tensions which is being seen in Shivamogga. And to give a background context of this entire attack which took on Prakash. Prakash was a noted pro-Hindu activist in this particular region, and he had quite a close relationship with Harsha's family too, because every now and then Harsha's family have approached the SP, and they had also gone on to demand that all the accused in this particular case will have to be punished. But all this and much more coming on the other side of this short break on Republic. Stay tuned.
Look at the site right now. All the diyas, 15 lakh diyas have been lit. It is beautiful. Golden light all across Ram Ki Bedi. It is definitely a sight to be seen and to be experienced here in Ayodhya. The festive season can be experienced here.
It is the first time in 7 years that on the occasion of Diwali, Delhi's air quality is poor, which is very close to very poor, but not in the worst condition.
Boris Johnson out of UK PM race, Rishi Sunak inches closer.
These BSF Jawan, they are also celebrating Diwali here at the international border.
Prime Minister, he is in Kargil to be celebrating the festival with the army Jawans at Kargil.
Chhattisgarh Sukma, where 74 Battalion of the CRPF celebrated Diwali at the Dornapal camp with great fervour.
Rishi Sunak is therefore elected as leader of the Conservative.
Look at the site right now. All the diyas, 15 lakh diyas have been lit. It is beautiful. Golden light all across Ram Ki Bedi. It is definitely a sight to be seen and to be experienced here in Ayodhya. The festive season can be experienced here.
It is the first time in 7 years that on the occasion of Diwali, Delhi's air quality is poor, which is very close to very poor, but not in the worst condition.
Boris Johnson out of UK PM race, Rishi Sunak inches closer.
These BSF Jawan, they are also celebrating Diwali here at the international border.
Prime Minister, he is in Kargil to be celebrating the festival with the army Jawans at Kargil.
Chhattisgarh Sukma, where 74 Battalion of the CRPF celebrated Diwali at the Dornapal camp with great fervour.
Rishi Sunak is therefore elected as leader of the Conservative.
Top international news this morning. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that his country is crushing the so-called second strongest army of the world. Speaking on the 8th-month anniversary of Russia invading Ukraine, Zelensky said that from now on, Russia will only be a pawn. The White House has repeatedly rejected Russia's talk of possible dirty bomb attack in Ukraine as the war enters its 9th month. The Kremlin has accused Western leaders of refusing to listen to arguments of the Russian side or take part in peace mediations to end the war in Ukraine. Speaking to reporters, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said that the French and German leaders are not willing to engage with Moscow. Australia's Treasurer Jim Chalmers has congratulated the former British Treasury Chief Rishi Sunak, who is set to become the United Kingdom's first Prime Minister of colour. And Taiwanese president has stated that democracy and rules-based order are facing the greatest challenges since the Cold War. You are watching Republic TV. On the other side, the lobby is at it again, raises the minority leader debate. The BJP hits back. And mystery continues over the Coimbatore blast after the BJP's deeper ISIS link claim. Sri Lankan investigation links emerge.
It is the first time in 7 years that on the occasion of Diwali, Delhi's air quality is poor, which is very close to very poor, but not in the worst condition.
Boris Johnson out of UK PM race, Rishi Sunak inches closer.
These BSF Jawan, they are also celebrating Diwali here at the international border.
Prime Minister, he is in Kargil to be celebrating the festival with the army Jawans at Kargil.
Chhattisgarh Sukma, where 74 Battalion of the CRPF celebrated Diwali at the Dornapal camp with great fervour.
Rishi Sunak is therefore elected as leader of the Conservatives.
Look at the site right now. All the diyas, 15 lakh diyas have been lit. It is beautiful. Golden light all across Ram Ki Pedi. It is definitely a sight to be seen and to be experienced here in Ayodhya. The festive season can be experienced here.
It is the first time in 7 years that on the occasion of Diwali, Delhi's air quality is poor, which is very close to very poor, but not in the worst condition.
Boris Johnson out of UK PM race, Rishi Sunak inches closer.
These BSF Jawan, they are also celebrating Diwali here at the international border.
Prime Minister, he is in Kargil to be celebrating the festival with the army Jawans at Kargil.
Chhattisgarh Sukma, where 74 Battalion of the CRPF celebrated Diwali at the Dornapal camp with great fervour.
Rishi Sunak is therefore elected as leader of the Conservatives.
Look at the site right now. All the diyas, 15 lakh diyas have been lit. It is beautiful. Golden light all across.
Diwali night, the Delhi's air quality index hit the very poor category with an AQI of 377 in Anand Vihar.
Now, Britain's Conservative Party leader Rishi Sunak has become the first Indian origin Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, former UK Chancellor of the Exchequer.
The disaster management authorities in Meghalaya have been kept on high alert as cyclone Sitrang is likely to bring heavy rain in many parts of the state. Kashmiri Pandit families moving to Jammu from Shopian, Chaudhry Gun area where PK Butt was killed by terrorists.
Viewers, you're watching India's #1 news channel, Republic TV. I'm Shivangi Shukla. Lots lined up for you in this news bulletin. But first, the headlines we're tracking right now. History scripted. Rishi Sunak becomes the United Kingdom's non-white, Indian origin, Hindu Prime Minister. But the lobby is at it again. Raises minority leader debate. BJP hits out. Mystery over Coimbatore, a blast after BJP's deeper ISIS link claims Sri Lanka investigation links emerge. Communal clashes in Vadodara, 19 detained, police say investigation underway. Two Indians trailed, targeted and killed by four-man squad in Kenya. Motive behind the gruesome murder yet to be known. After chicken distribution, liquor bottles now is the BRS on a liquor spree ahead of by-polls to lure voters in. Viewers, in relation to the Coimbatore car blast case, now what we have learned so far right now on Republic TV is that 5 more accused arrested in the Coimbatore blast case now, and these are Muhammad Dalga, Muhammad Azharuddin, Muhammad Riaz, Firoz Ismail, Muhammad Anas Ismail have been arrested based on the CCTV footage access. Now they are being questioned at the police station in Coimbatore. Special teams are conducting the inquiry with certain undisclosed prisoners in the prison as well in Kerala. Now after information that the person who died, Jamesha Mubin, had met somebody from the prison, special teams conducted investigation in Kerala. Special teams conducted inquiry in Kerala also. So this is the big lead we're getting for you right now, where the investigation is continuing as of now. And 5 more accused have been arrested in Coimbatore car blast case. We just told you the names of them as well. Muhammad Dalga, Muhammad Azharuddin, Muhammad Riaz, Firoz Ismail, Muhammad Anas Ismail have been arrested based on the CCTV footage which was accessed. Ashwin is joining us for more. Ashwin, take us to what the investigation is pointing toward so far.
Well, Shivangi, the investigation is definitely getting bigger because right now we are getting information that the special investigating team has also raided the house of one person called as Nawab. Now, Nawab happens to be the brother of Basha, who was accused in the 1998 Coimbatore blast and also was part of the band outfit Al Umma as well. So this is a very critical information that is now coming forward, and also the 5 friends of the accused in this latest blast, who was deceased, has also been taken into custody. Now what we are getting to gather is that the police found out, the special investigating team in fact has found out that the deceased person has in fact been a Facebook friend of one of the key accused in the Sri Lankan blast as well. And also in the Kerala jail, as per the register, he had met one person called as Muhammad Azharuddin, who has been incarcerated in the central jail at Viyur in Thrissur district for a case related to IS case. So he has been a suspected IS operative as well. So certainly when we look at all these new information that is coming to light, it certainly looks like there has been a huge plan that has been going on as well. Now the 5 friends who have been taken into custody after the CCTV footage came into fore, all these 5 names, we have all obviously taken all these names, but the police is deep investigating the links of these individuals as well, whether they are connected to any more organizations, to unravel the possible case of any conspiracy to have an attack on sensitive locations, especially religious location. Now we all know in the Coimbatore car blast, this blast happened at a place very close to a Someshwar temple in Coimbatore. Now this also holds much more importance because the initial information that we are getting to pick up is that the youth who was inside the car which blasted, in fact had opened 2 walls of the LPG cylinder, which later led to the blast. So the vicinity of the blast, the finding of explosive items at his house, the CCTV footage leading to the arrest of 5 individuals, the Facebook, the social media activities of the person, as well as the meeting with a terror accused in a central jail in Kerala, all points out that there could be a larger conspiracy. We are tracking this story further. We are looking for more updates on this story very soon. Shivangi.
Ashwin, Republic has also accessed the key CCTV footage, which our viewers can see very clearly on the left hand of the screen. Now the Coimbatore car blast is on your screen, viewers. Now, Ashwin, if you could just take us through what exactly can be seen in that footage, because a lot of arrests have been made based on that CCTV footage, which has been accessed by Republic exclusively.
Well, Shivangi, the CCTV footage shows at 11:45 p.m. These 5 individuals has been, been carrying a white sack. Now, what is the content of this white sack needs to be seen, because Jamshid Mubin, who was deceased, who died along with the blast, he was also there in the CCTV. So just before the blast, which occurred at 4 a.m. the very next day on Sunday, the content of the sack is definitely a point of question, with the special investigating team is definitely looking at, and also the links and the phone calls, the phone call records of all the other individuals are also being probed. If you look at the entire case, we suddenly see like a nexus that is slowly growing up. We are seeing the social media activity of Mohsin being connected to the key accused in the Easter blast at Sri Lanka, to meeting an IS operative who has been accused as an IS operative in Viyur jail in Thrissur. All this points out that there could be a larger nexus as well. And also the latest information that a person called as Nawab, who is a younger brother of Basha, who was a co-founder of a now banned organization called as Al-Umma. His house has also been raided before these 5 youths were also picked up. All this points out that there could definitely be a larger nexus, a larger organization and a larger terror plan which was waiting to hamper the national security as well. So certainly a big case that is unraveling right in front of us. Shivangi.
All right, thank you so much for joining us there, Ashwin, on the story we are tracking right now from Coimbatore, where we are learning so far is that in the car blast case, 5 more accused have been arrested in Coimbatore. All right, let's go ahead and look at the other story we're tracking right now. Rishi Sunak has become United Kingdom's non-white Indian origin Hindu Prime Minister. Opposition raises minority leader debate using Sunak minority PM questions raised by the Vadra Congress and also Mufti. This is the big story we're tracking right now on Republic TV, where the opposition is right now raising the some claims right now, where they're saying after with Indian origin Rishi Sunak has become the new Prime Minister of the UK, the Congress leaders and the opposition has come up with a bizarre inference by making it an issue of non-majority citizens. Many reactions coming in. Let's listen in.
समझना चाहिए, ये सभी मिलिटेंट्स जो रहते हैं, जो आतंकी रहते हैं, ये किसी पर्टिकुलर समाज से क्यों रहते हैं? क्योंकि इनकी मानसिकता इस प्रकार से है। हमारी डेमोक्रेसी सबसे बड़ी डेमोक्रेसी है और ये समझना चाहिए कि उस डेमोक्रेसी में जिस आधार पर भी कोई आज तक आया उसको किसी ने रोका नहीं है। हालांकि कांग्रेस के लोगों ने जो एक इंदिरा गांधी के प्रति हाई कोर्ट इलाहाबाद ने कहा था, उसके बावजूद उन्होंने इमरजेंसी लगा करके देश को कुचलने की कोशिश की। ये किस पर सवाल उठाते हैं? इनको समझना चाहिए कि भारत जैसा एक ऐसा देश जिसमें सर्वधर्म समभाव को कदर किया जाता है, तो इस प्रकार की मानसिकता जो कांग्रेस की है गलत है।
All right, viewers, so what happened was, viewers, that Chidambaram has cited Kamala Harris and Rishi Sunak to make a point about the US and UK embracing non-majority